On this episode of TasteCast, we talk about Stalker 2's official delay. We talk about the possible merger of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. We react to Leap's official announcement trailer. We watch and see if we can get hyped for Rainbow Six Extraction official lore gameplay trailer. We talk about at an extended length PSVR 2 and if it is worth being excited about. And then we, of course, read your guys' comments and have a good conversation about that, all that, and much more. Before we do that, make sure to hit the like button. It helps the channel out when you do that. If you want to support us even more, you can comment, share this video, check out our Patreon if you want to support us even further. And yeah, you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. We have a Discord if you'd like to talk to us anytime, all the time. And yeah, our socials and streams are also linked down below. All right, let's get into TasteCast. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 157 of the TasteCast, a weekly podcast where we talk about random things in gaming. My name's Seth, and joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, how you doing? Are you excited to talk about... we got a lot of things to talk about this episode, so hopefully you're down for the conversation.
You got me here.
Yeah, and yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. Just kind of chilling. Tired from work. That's the usual, but I actually feel pretty good. You?
I'm feeling pretty good. I just drank a bunch of fucking caffeine, so I apologize for everybody who's used to it by now, where I start just running my fucking words together. That's going to happen for sure. It's going to happen. I'm preemptively doing this to talk like that, so you've been warned. So yeah, loosely, we got a couple things to talk about before we get into what we've been playing. How do you feel about delays in games?
I feel like just that question is a little vague, but
well, some people instantly don't like delays. They view them negatively, and then some people are positive about them. And I feel like we're, of course, always going to kind of go into a middle ground because that's how we are about a lot of things. But I feel like I can talk for both of us in the sense of saying delays can be justified, and if done properly, are typically the right direction to go.
Pretty much what it boils down to is that when someone says they're going to delay a product, my brain doesn't go, oh, good or bad. It goes, okay, why? Why are you delaying?
It does raise the flag real quick.
Yeah.
As soon as someone goes like, oh, we're delaying it, that's typically where my brain goes. Is like, okay, so something's up. But I've noticed some people will go like, oh shit, they're like, so we're going to talk about it, but like Stalker 2 got delayed. We'll go into the details in a sec. And you see a whole plethora of reactions from people going like, oh, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of delays. To other people going like, oh, the game's fucked. To people going like, oh yeah, take your time, dude. Like, make sure it's good. And this is like a 7-month delay. So it's a substantial delay.
Pretty big, yeah.
But in general, it's always interesting to see how delays are handled. And also delays from certain people get reactions that other people don't. I
think reputation definitely plays into that.
Reputation plays a huge part of it. But I typically think a delayed game is more favorable to me personally than a game getting rushed out. Look at Battlefield 2042. A game that should have been delayed 100%. And then, any game that gets like a couple month delay comes out and doesn't really have any issues. These are, I guess I didn't give an example of a specific game, but there's a bunch of games that get delayed for like, 2 weeks. Final Fantasy 14.
I was going to bring up that 14 was delayed 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And even though there are, after playing it, a couple things I can tell they probably should have spent a little more time on, it was still an amazing experience. And I imagine it would have been lesser, had they not taken that time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sometimes they got to smooth out a couple things. Sometimes they got to change some numbers in the code or whatever. Sometimes they need to do some big things. They got to change some shit around. And so As long as it's not getting delayed after delayed after delayed, that's where it starts getting worrying. I typically kind of give everyone the benefit of the doubt. One delay, I'm like, that makes sense. Like, what's going on. I don't. So if you're telling me to delay it, like, definitely. And then fix it, get it ready. I want a complete product. I don't want an unfinished product when you release it, because when you do that, people will be mad for both reasons, but people will be much more angry if a game comes out unfinished than if it is delayed and comes out good.
Oh, for sure.
There's a slight disappointment versus rage.
Yeah. The only time that I kind of get it, even though I think sometimes people react a little too extreme, is and to use Final Fantasy 14 as an example again, announcing your delays without giving people time to adjust, because there are people like that, take vacation for these types of events.
Yeah.
They might be looking forward to it. You tell them it's not coming out that day, and they can't change their vacation. So they have not only nothing to play, but they're kind of screwed out of something they've worked for. They put their real time into. So, and I can understand that frustration for sure. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. With all that said, though, the main news that I kind of want to talk about, I kind of already said, is Stalker 2, a much hyped game for me personally. But for a lot of people, got delayed. I'm sure you guys already know about this, but we're going to talk about it real quick. GSC came out recently. I think it was like yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. I don't remember. It was very recent. And via Twitter said, "Stalkers, we have made a decision to postpone the release of Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl to December 8th, 2022. So this year, but at the very end. These additional 7 months of development are needed to fulfill our vision and achieve the desired state of the game. Stalker 2 is the biggest project in the history of GSC, and it requires thorough testing and polishing. We are convinced that development should take as long as necessary, especially in the case of such a project. This decision is not an easy one, but we are doing the best possible to deliver you a game that can live up to the expectations. And believe me, my expectations of this game are fucking huge. With more information, updates, and showcases coming, we have an exciting and important year ahead. Thank you for your patience and understanding. With love, GSC Game World team." And this follows them. It was Stalker 2, right? Yeah, it was, with the NFT. They said they're going to do some NFT stuff, and then people, including myself,
I was going to ask if it was this game or something else.
Got upset, and then they literally said, we're cutting the whole thing. Which I thought was, you talk about reputation. That kind of gave them a couple points for me, and having that quick of a reaction to that. Do you get any kind of sense of anything reading this? And what do you think of it?
This is the first time they delayed it?
I believe so. And this also has been really interesting because even though it's coming out on PC, everybody keeps talking about how this is like an Xbox exclusive. And so there's been a larger conversation of people talking about how Xbox has just been, like, every Xbox game keeps getting delayed, which I never thought about until I kept reading that talking point. But that's just people, I think,
Sounds a little tinfoil hatty to me.
Well, I think it's also people trying to bait people to...
Probably, well, especially if it's on Twitter.
Fuck you, Sony Pony. Fuck you, Xbot.
Honestly, without like thinking of a reason, if it's the first time delaying it and they feel like they need the extra time, they get a chance, I think. 7 months is a long time, but they might have run into something critical that they decided they needed that time for, or they came up with another idea that they're going to try to implement last minute. My brain also goes to development probably was going along with the idea of putting NFTs in the game, and now they're going to take that stuff out of the game, which could take some time. So,
maybe it was a more integrated experience.
I think it kind of has to be when we talking about NFTs and stuff, because it has to be able to connect to, basically that
blockchain,
that database. Yeah. So, and then to be able to take that information outside of the game. So, obviously, purely speculative. Don't start going, oh, well, they said this type of thing. But I feel like that's probably the reason.
I feel like it's definitely got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I remember the original Stalker I remember before it came out, like years before it came out, they'd shown like a tech demo, and at the time, it's some of the best ragdoll physics I'd ever seen in a game, and so they were like super dedicated to making like this ambitious game that they're working on. And it was kind of like an Alan Wake situation where the game took so long to work on that by the time it came out, a lot of people had kind of forgotten about it. Luckily, Stalker's amassed a cult following. Like, people love Stalker. I love Stalker, but it did come out like years later than it was supposed to. But that wasn't necessarily in delays. It was like the development of the game just took longer than they wanted to.
Yeah.
So it is interesting looking at this and knowing it's the same people. But I loved Stalker. Like, I think it's like a fantastic game. And so I'm wondering if ambition is playing a part in this as well. Maybe they're trying to deliver, because we watched the trailer of the game and it looks very good graphically, and like the facial mocap, everything looks like top tier shit. And especially that they are, loosely tied with Xbox on the whole push of like, this is an Xbox, this is coming out on Xbox. I think it's timed, possibly, I don't remember, but that they keep pushing that. Maybe they have added pressure, like, we got to fucking release this, we can't make Xbox look bad, because I think it's a day one Game Pass game, and so that might also be a factor. But I do think it's a mix of everything. The NFT thing is really interesting though, just because if that was a more integrated experience and they're like, fucking scrap it, like, well, what do? We were already building the game with that in mind. They would have to kind of reverse engineer some stuff for sure. So that could be a huge factor. 7 months is a chunk. I mean, 2-3 months would be.
You could do a lot in 7 months.
Yeah, you can do quite a bit. That's more than just like, oh fuck, this part of the world doesn't work correctly, or we need to optimize it. That's like a month or two that they would need for that. Whereas 7 months, it's like you're changing something probably.
Yeah, I mean, you have time to do like alpha and beta testing and all sorts of stuff in that.
Because the last 3 months is where they're going to start smoothing it out.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But this is the first time, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, that they have delayed this game. So I have no worries or suspicions or anything like that. I am admittedly bummed a little bit that I'm not going to play it as soon as I wanted to, but I'm very okay with waiting. As long as the game comes out in a great package, if everything's complete, works great, no problems, doesn't feel unfinished, I'll be happy. There's a time where I never thought I'd get a Stalker 2 anyway, so I can wait. I'm pretty sure I can. Plus, this year's jam-packed with fucking games.
There's plenty of shit to play, man.
Yeah, so honestly, and a lot of them are coming out in the first like 4 months of this year. This actually is kind of a favor.
I heard a couple streamers complaining actually recently about the next couple months. So
yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But overall, no reason to assume this is anything horrible. I think it's very interesting the amount of time they're taking. It just kind of gives you a hint on maybe what's going on there. Yeah. But overall, no reason to worry, in my opinion. Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Are you excited for it? What do you think about the delay? Are you worried? Are you not worried? And yeah. Let me know what you think about in the comments below. Another thing I want to talk to you about real quick before we jump into what we've been playing is another topic of this one's more speculation. So there's been talk since last year that Sony's going to try to make something that's competitive with Game Pass. And I think that's inevitable. They're going to do something that's going to be similar to it, right?
They kind of have to.
Yeah. Then there's been talk for a little bit about merging, I almost said Game Pass. I'm sure Microsoft would love to do that. Sony merging PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now. And as those rumors keep kind of, moving around, you hear about them here and there. Recently, I think it was in the UK first, but I think it's happening everywhere. They had PS Now cards in stores, and Sony's starting to pull those from retailers. Allegedly, that's what I'm hearing. So we have an article. A bunch of people have these articles right now. They're all speculation. This one's from comic book something. Comicbook.com. I don't know why they're talking about it, but they kind of go into the same stuff I just said in a longer way. But more so, I wanted to get your thoughts on Do you think there's any validity behind the idea of them merging those two things? Do you think it's a smart thing? Do you think it's something they should do? And your overall thoughts on PlayStation offering something in terms of offering games to play every month. It's not just 3 games, but like a catalog. And is PS Now a good thing to offer? And what's your thoughts on PS Now?
I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on most gaming like subscription services in general. I don't even use Gamepass as much as the values there. I definitely prefer ownership. But that being said, if they did bundle them together, I do think it is probably a smarter idea because it does present the opportunity for more people to at least try it. I would myself even be at that point tempted to at least try it. I have no interest in like just going out and paying for it. And realistically, Sony makes enough money that they don't have to really actually make super huge adjustments to costs and stuff like that too. It might seem like they'd be losing money by not making subscription services to it. But I mean, look what Microsoft does, what's the rate for it now? Is it $19.99 a month to get both of them together?
Something like that, yeah. It's still crazy.
They would literally, and they would have to be competitive, do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And for an extra $5 a month, I think most people, if they're a little curious, would probably just bite the bullet. So, and as far as like, what they do with it, I mean, if they're going to do something like that, they need to be aggressive. If they're going to go after Microsoft, Microsoft really has done a fantastic job with theirs. And to the very least, should be aiming for that level.
Microsoft single-handedly has, and people who are fans of Game Pass, and it's before you think I'm about to talk shit, Game Pass is way too good of a deal. But Microsoft has single-handedly like taken us into like the Spotify realm with music, where they're devaluing games because the price is so fucking cheap. It's stupid, which worries me because I like video games. I want them to do well, but at the same time, you can't deny the value. Like, if you want to spend like $20 a month or whatever the fuck and have access to all these games, and a lot of them are brand new, like nobody's doing that except for them.
Yeah.
So it's an insane deal. So yeah, it's crazy, and Sony does have to offer something like that. But I wonder if Sony could offer the same thing, because there's a lot of deals happening between Microsoft and other companies to do this. And then you start getting to the realm of like how Netflix has certain shows and how whatever the other Disney Plus has certain things going on.
Ooh, don't say the D word on YouTube.
Yeah. There's a couple words I can't say. I probably shouldn't have said it. And so we start getting into that realm, and that just doesn't sound fun to me. But
oh no, I'm sick of streaming services.
Oh yeah, me too. But then when games start getting into that area too, which they're gonna go, I start thinking the same thing. But Sony does have to offer something like that. And so with PlayStation Plus, you already get the 3 games typically at the least. And then you get to keep them and play them as long as you have your PlayStation Plus account active. And then there's like deals and like free, DLCs typically for games as a service type games like Warframe and stuff like that. So obviously there's value there. Then with Game Pass, you just have access to a catalog of games, and you can play any of them as long as you're paying for Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. Then with PlayStation Now, you have access to stream games, and they were doing that a while ago, the whole streaming games thing. I know like 3 people who have used PlayStation Now, so like not a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
And I've never had an interest in it. Now if I could like play it anywhere on my phone, kind of like Game Pass, that'd be huge. Especially with the real exclusives that PlayStation has. There's value there. But I was thinking about that. Merging those makes sense to me because there's not nearly as much people paying for PlayStation Now, unless there is, let me know, I doubt it, as people who are paying for PS Plus.
Oh, I'd be blown away, yeah.
I feel like you kind of just have to have PlayStation Plus if you're going to play online with PlayStation.
I feel like anyone who owns a console generally just buys the online service.
Yeah.
And that's I could be wrong, obviously, but I feel like that's a pretty safe thing to say. I mean, I have a Switch that I barely ever play online, and I bought a year of the online just so I don't run into the issue of, I would like to play this online. Oh, I can't because I have to go buy the server. I was like, I'm gonna eventually play it online. So
Yeah, so with that though, that people are already paying for that anyway, and everybody has it, but a lot of people probably aren't paying for PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I think it's inevitable. I don't even think of it as like, are they gonna do it? I feel like they have to do it because Game Pass already offers, on top of the price you're already paying, streaming.
yeah,
And they've now made it so you can stream on your computer, on your laptop, on your phone. All these games that keep upping that, keep upping that roster of games you can play. That keep upping the amount of day one games you can play on Game Pass. Like it's really that's what Xbox is Game Pass. I mean, like that's their model, and they're fucking killing it with it. So I was thinking about it, like they got to do it. They got to put fucking PS Now on there. So I think it's going to happen for sure. And I do think that the retail cards leaving are probably preemptively for that. I think they don't want to start. I don't think they want to market it as PS Now eventually. I think there's going to be like PlayStation Plus is this package.
well, and yeah, they might, in more, I guess, in their fashion, might have like PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Plus Platinum, because it would go along with their trophy system. So
PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Plus Plus.
I don't know about that.
PlayStation Platinum. That sounds kind of cool.
And then that would come with all the suite of features.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just interesting on what they would offer with that, because there's actually a lot of games on PS Now, but they don't have, and they'd have to recalibrate the whole thing to be competitive with Game Pass, because Game Pass has like day one things, and it's like how do you compete against that? Like, for instance, and we're probably gonna talk about it in a little bit, but like Rainbow Six Extraction is gonna be on Game Pass. It's like, why would I even fucking buy that? Like, I'm kind of want to play it, but I don't want to buy it. Well, I guess I could just pay for it. Pay for a month on Game Pass to play it.
So I hate to be that guy, but it's like the perfect thing to play like Ubisoft, EA, and Activision games on, because
For sure.
you don't know what you're getting with those companies anymore.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm getting to the point where like, do I even need to be buying games from those people when I can just play them on Game Pass? I mean, like, and then eventually, with PlayStation Plus, I feel like all those companies would be fine if they're going to doing it with Microsoft, doing it with Sony. So, unless there's some real exclusive handshaking going on in the background. But one thing I was thinking about too, something that Sony could offer that Xbox doesn't but could. Microsoft definitely has the fucking money. Sony owns Crunchyroll.
/ Funimation.
Funimation, yeah. It is Crunchyroll, right? Am I right on that? Or is it
own
Funimation?
both.
Yeah. So they own that. And then they also have a movie studio.
Yeah.
And
Sony Pictures.
and produce music. So
Yep.
they could offer things, possibly. I'm not saying they're gonna, but they could offer anime at the very least. A lot of gamers like anime.
Yeah.
With that as well. That would be a way to be competitive with Game Pass, in the sense of like offering something that Game Pass is not offering.
Yeah, and as much as I hate that they own all the anime,
Yeah, for sure.
if Crunchyroll got lumped into PlayStation Plus, I would cancel my Crunchyroll subscription and just connect them at that point.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if they're going to do that, because I don't know the numbers behind how many people are
For
subscribed
sure.
to each thing. But if they wanted to add inherent value to the whole package, that would add it. I don't really watch a whole lot of anime, and I'm not going to go out of my way to go watch it. I would like to, but I don't think about it. But if I just had access to it, I'd probably watch it.
you do have access to it, but yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have multiple services.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, if it's just part of my PlayStation Plus situation, and there's just like a tab on my PS5, there's just like Crunchyroll shit, and I can just go over there and be like, oh, I'll check this out. It's just accessibility.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Even if they wanted to cycle out animes and then you could pay for the service separately for the whole thing. I'm not trying to give them ideas on how to make money, but
They don't need it.
exactly. But it is interesting that they do have things they can offer. It'd be a little tricky with their movies because the biggest thing Sony's putting out right now is like Spider-Man, and they would have to have conversations with, even though they own the rights to it, they probably have to have conversations with
the D word.
With the D word, and so that probably wouldn't be as easy to do. But anyway, I thought it was really interesting. I do think the rumors, whether they're correct or not, will be correct eventually. I think they are going to merge the two because I think they have to start offering streaming services because everybody's going that direction, and they already have a base of consumers that are going to start expecting that. Now it is Sony, and Sony's real good about going like, we don't care. Just keep paying. Hey, we want to change our names. Eventually, maybe. And then they do it like, it doesn't work that great, but you can do it. Even in the camera department, fucking for the longest time, everybody's complaining about Sony cameras and their menus. And there's like, just use it. It's a really good camera. I'm like, it is really good, but there's so much shit in these menus, dude. Like, no one knows how to navigate. They're like, And then eventually they added colorful menus. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's a little better. So yeah, Sony really is like, it's really hard to get them to really hard to motivate them.
Yeah.
But
well, money's the ultimate motivator, so
100%. Yeah. Do you think they're gonna do it though?
I won't be so bold, but I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me too because like I still buy music, like, so I don't even use like things like Spotify, for example. So I'm probably the wrong person overall for this kind of stuff, but.
Yeah, listen to podcasts on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I tried doing the streaming thing with music, and I just ended up hating it because I feel like it's super expensive for that style of entertainment. Mm-hmm. And then free is like littered with advertisements.
Oh, yeah.
So I pay for YouTube Premium, and I can listen to music that way. I feel that's a better value because it's not just music. So
interesting. I never even thought to pay for that.
Yeah, I just got I use an iPhone, and there's no ad block, and I got really sick of it. So
oh, gotcha. That was interesting.
So that was the push, and then being able to not have the screen on, stuff like that is nice, and download stuff. So
yeah. Well, I will be bold in saying that I think it's going to happen for sure, but I also would not be surprised if it happens, and I do think they're going to have to offer something comparable to streaming games and offering catalogs of games at a price point, because I think a lot of people are going to do it. I think Microsoft's already doing it, and even though Microsoft has gone in that direction, and that's where they decided they're going to go, and the console's just kind of like, buy your Xbox or buy your PC or whatever the fuck. Just play Gamepass. Sony's over here making consoles, making their exclusives. They're going to want to get in on that. So it only makes sense. And I do think as time goes on, people are just going to expect to be able to stream their shit, no matter what it is. Music, movies, games. And as the technology gets better, I think that's going to be standard. So yeah, only makes sense that they do it, because they already do it. So, and less people are paying for it. So, anything else you want to say on it?
Mm-mm.
All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about the possible merger of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's not going to happen? Do you think there's any validity to them pulling cards out of retail stores for PS Now? And what do you want to see from a PlayStation Game Pass? Do you think there's room for it? Do you think there's a market for it? And what do you think about the Crunchyroll thing possibly, or movies, music, stuff like that? Let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. All right, let's jump into what we've been playing, where we talk about games we've been playing recently. Luckily, my lists are short because I'm playing a whole lot of things. So I'll start first. Let's see. So I've been playing the PlayStation Plus games. Not a lot, but I have played all of them so far, and that includes Persona 5 Strikers. I played that a little bit. One thing I'm going to say about it, in case you haven't played it yet and you don't know what it is, because we actually talked about it before I played it, and we were both like, I was like, what kind of game is that? And you're like, I think it's like a fighting game or something. I was like, yeah, maybe. I was pleasantly surprised to find out it's a Musu Dynasty Warriors game. I started up and I was like, oh shit, it's one of these games. Interesting. I do think it's made by Omega Force. And so
It would be.
yeah, so I've played it. I plan on playing it more. It is very interesting to see Persona. It's set up more like an RPG, which I think is interesting as well. So we're going to talk about that at the end of the month. I'll let you know if I liked it or not. Played a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic on console. I plan on playing it more soon. I want to get people together to play that. I want 4 people in a party. But yeah, I'm going to play that more this month, and I'll have plenty to say. I'll probably try not to talk about as much as I typically do, though, because we've talked about it twice on the channel before. So, and I think everybody knows where I stand with Deep Rock, unless it's just like horrible on console. Then you'll definitely hear me talk about it. But I've played it on there. One thing that's interesting about that is there is, so the Steam Deck is Valve's new like handheld PC that's coming out soon. It has accelerometers in it that you can use for aiming, and people will use like the sticks together with the movement to get fine-tuned like mouse style aiming.
Okay.
Deep Rock Galactic on PS5 has that. And it's the first time I've experienced it on anything. I'd only read about it with the Steam Deck. It's very interesting because you can't even like fully aim. It doesn't let you look all over the place, but it lets you finally adjust the aimer. If you're sitting still and you move the controller, it'll move a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
And it's very responsive. And so like when you're shooting around or mostly mining, I found it to be the most useful. I'd be using the stick, and then I'd kind of move the control a little bit to fine tune where I'm hitting.
That's an interesting idea.
It
would definitely take some getting used to. I do not have a strong opinion yet.
Yeah, you haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But just look out for that when you do play it,
Okay.
because I think it's an interesting discussion because it's the first time I've experienced what I've read about.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought it was interesting. It was in Deep Rock Galactic. Like, I like how they took the jump. And I played Dirt 5. I've played it plenty in the past.
As I keep calling.
Yeah, you keep calling Dirt 3. You're just stuck on that. Dirt 4 never existed. This is actually one of the games I bought when I first got my PS5. So I've played it. I started up. I looked at all my progress. I'm like, oh yeah, I played this game.
I did this.
Going from Horizon to that game though, not fair. That's not me saying anything about it. I'll talk about the end of the month. I'm giving you guys way too much already. So come back at the end of the month for Plus Club and we'll discuss those 3 games. I'm still playing Godfall, but I'm getting to the point where progression is very, very, very slow. I am level 256 in the game, and it takes like 30, 40 minutes to get a level now. And so it has slowed down my progression. I'll kind of hop in and do an ascended tower run, see how far I can get a level or 2 out of it, and then stop playing. So my cracking out on Godfall is not coming to an end, but maybe I'll get back into it intensively when like content comes out for it, if it does.
If I could just get you to put that kind of energy into 14.
I haven't put that kind of energy into a lot of games recently, so that's it's just been wild to like dedicate that much time to a game. But yeah, Godfall, dude, I got like a god complex in that game because like my build, this is not, it's a humble brag, I guess. My build that I made, this isn't one I looked up. I have not been in a group of randos or anybody who's like lasted longer than me in the tower. I'm not the one who's going to fail. It's like, it's frustrating because I'll play with people and they'll start like trying to like take control of the situation, make all decisions. I'm like, dude, every decision you make that's going to fuck us, you're going to be the one to die and fail. So whatever, dude. Because there's banes and boons or whatever. So like you pick these things that make the run harder, and people always pick the ones like 15% to your loot, and they're always harder challenges. And these people just like fucking hit those, and I'm like, dude, you pick that, you're gonna fucking die, and you're gonna be the reason we fail, not me. So anyway, humble brag, my build's pretty good. Playing Hinterwolf Claw, Ninja Claw. I always call him Wolf for some reason. And it is, I mean, he's a crit Valor plate. So I'm critting a lot. And when I crit, I get overhealth. And I've balanced him out where I'm doing pretty decent damage. I could be doing more, but I like the survivability. And it's really hard to kill me. So, yeah, having fun with that. That game is really fun. One of the funnest parts of that game is it's just the builds, the amount of numbers you're shuffling around to make these builds. I've been playing with Sarah and Josh, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But it is coming to an end. And then lastly, this is what I've been playing, dude. It's fucking over already. I bought Ready or Not, which is a controversial game. I feel bad even bringing it up.
I don't even know what you're saying.
So Ready or Not is kind of like a spiritual successor to the actual Rainbow Six games and SWAT games.
Okay.
And just talking about it real quick, they a while ago promised they're going to have a school shooting map, and a lot of people got really angry about that. And they came out. I can see that happening. Yeah. They came out and said that like they're still going to go through with it, which I respect them for committing to their vision. I think with the subject matter of the game, where you're going in and like doing all these like SWAT type things where people are like taking hostages and stuff like that, it goes into that. Although I do understand and respect that it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know if there's gonna be actually kids in it. I don't know the details, but I'm not the type of person who will ever tell somebody for the most part what they should do in their creative endeavors, and if it negatively affects their sales, that's the choice they made.
Yeah, and that honestly, that's probably the biggest takeaway here, because there's different types of people out there, right? I mean, I don't want to speak for both of us, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but very capable of detaching reality from fantasy.
Yeah,
and so when I play a game, I watch a movie, I read a book, like there's no part of my brain that goes, relate this to real life. This is real life. Mm-hmm. This is completely fake. Nothing here is real. So.
Well, and anybody who's sensitive to it, which I feel like most people should be, but also anybody who's been affected by that. Obviously, we live in the United States, and we're not going to get into that. But we're not going to talk about politics here. But this shit happens in real life, and so I can only understand and respect that anybody who would be critical of this or affected by this level not play the game.
100%.
Don't touch it. Don't buy it. Don't support it. Tell your friends not to support it. But I bought it because I miss the Rainbow Six games. I believe some of the people who worked on the original Rainbow Six games, people from Red Storm, are part of this team. And I miss games like SWAT 3, or whatever the fuck, SWAT 4. I don't remember which one it was. Those games were awesome. The slow-paced nature of them, where you're like going to a door and like breaching, clearing, throwing in flashbangs, stuff like that. I fucking love games like that. And these guys are some of the only people who are making games like that. So they're going to get my money.
Yeah, good luck with the attention span of people these days. But yeah, for sure.
There's no run button. Like old school Rainbow Six. Like when you hit shift, you go slower. Like you go from kind of like walking like this to going and creeping. But yeah, so anyway, I bought that. I played it a little bit. I did one mission, and there's a lot of like it's cool because you can play it by yourself and you have a squad and you can tell them what to do. So it reminds me of old Rainbow Six games. Yeah. But you can also play with friends and coordinate. And it's realistic. I got killed like instantly at one point. But yeah, it's pretty fun so far, what I've played. And every mission is a map with a random placement of the scenario, but then you can play different scenarios on that map. So there's like a bomb removal one, and there's a hostage situation scenario. So every time a map comes out, there's multiple different types of scenarios that happen with it. So
kind of reminds me of Hitman in that regard.
Yeah, kind of. It just reminds me of old school Rainbow Six, and I love that. So I don't know if I love the game yet because I've barely played it, but I love the idea of it. So I'm definitely gonna play it some more. Maybe I'll stream it, and it seems like a game that'd be fun to stream. And which is another thing I want to get back into is streaming. And yeah, been playing it. It's pretty cool. Like to play with people. So that's what I've been playing.
All right, mine's even shorter.
Sick.
I've been playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and not really getting anything done other than just hanging out in the Grand Underdark. And if you don't know what that is, it's a bunch of mine shafts with little pockets that you can catch Pokemon in. And when you're not in the pockets, you're mining. So it's the grind part of the game pretty much. So that's all I've been doing that.
It's the Ascended Tower. Level 256.
Whenever I finish leveling my current Pokemon, I can go and finally try to finish beating the game, unlock the post game, and go back to grinding because that's Pokemon. And other than that, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV, which is pretty much my everyday thing other than the last couple of days. And I've been leveling alternate jobs. I now have 5 combat classes to 90 and all 3 gatherers to 90. And I'm probably one of the slowest in my free combat. So I think one member is doing his last level 90 tonight. So yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
You put the work in.
I already knew he'd be the first, but yeah. I think Toki's right behind him, or friend of the channel.
Toki?
Rob.
The fuck is he doing, dude? I
Leveling.
haven't heard from yeah, fucking that's why I haven't heard from him in years, dude. Just leveling in that game.
No, it's been fun. I mean, they always do a good job, but there's a lot of stuff to do right now. It's all fresh and new, and then even the stuff that you're used to doing every expansion anyways, because everything around is new and they change the jobs every time. It just feels fresh again, so it's nice. Plus, having a lot of people playing right now has been great because we can do like group content together instead of having to rely on random people. And even though I don't mind too much in that game, it is an online game. You run into salty people from time to time, and I just don't want to deal with it. So
true.
But
if I were to start playing that game, would I have issues getting into it?
no.
Okay.
Queue times are pretty normalized, other than even weekends
Well,
or
I
weekends.
know there's been the off and on. You can't buy this game right now.
You
situation.
cannot buy a new account of this game.
Okay. But I'm just making sure like a dormant account wouldn't be held to some kind of like.
You can reactivate and you can buy the expansion. Like that's allowed. You cannot. They're addressing it soon, I guess, and they're also going to talk. They're actually able to get ready to talk about an update on like they want to upgrade the servers eventually, but they can't buy servers. They haven't been able to. They've even Square gave them permission to go over market value, and they still can't buy any. So, which is insane. Bad time to be successful.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Xbox and PS5 shortages. Still,
yeah.
I guess they're increasing PS4 production.
Yep.
Because of that. And people are like, how does this help with PS5? And it's like, because they can't make them, dude. So they're making something that they can.
Yeah, and they still make PS4 games.
And people, they're still buying them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making them. So
yeah, it's a tricky problem. And obviously, there's going to be people out there who just don't care. They just want what they want. But
it's just crazy to see all these shortages.
I do feel like all these companies, as much as they want to keep pushing forward, they're trying to do the best they can to also make it right by people. So
yeah.
That being said, right now you cannot play. You can't even download the free trial for 14. It's all locked right now. You can't buy the game. You can't nothing. So all because there's too many people playing. Which is a weird problem.
I fucking that meme I posted in the Discord a while back, but it's like when this first started, it was just like it looks like the Final Fantasy 14 login, but it says like you can't play this, and then under it says get the fuck out of here and like play something else.
Yeah.
Like it's just so stupid.
I've seen some people post other memes like that too lately. Or like the meme that went around like, have you tried the critically acclaimed blah blah MMO, all this stuff, and now it's like do not try the critically acclaimed MMO. There is not a free trial.
Yeah, it's so good you can't play it, dude.
Please play something else. So
Yeah, I mean, Dying Light 2 comes out soon. I'm definitely gonna be fucking playing that. Unless I play it and it sucks, that would be awful.
yeah.
And then like Rainbow Six Extraction, I want to play a little bit, but I have no hype for it. But I still want to try it out. And so I've been thinking about, I wanted to maybe get back into an MMO, and then I was thinking about ESO, but then like ESO's expansion's coming out later this year. So I'll probably wait to play ESO when that comes out.
Also loosely heard that they were having issues right now too. So
Probably. Who's not having fucking issues? I'm having issues. And so I thought it'd be probably a good time to maybe hop in and do some casual Final Fantasy 14ing.
there's a lot of people playing right now, so it'd be a good time anyways.
Yeah.
You're getting into the best part of Heaven's War too. Unfortunately, you've been gone for so long, you probably don't remember anything you've played.
No, I probably need to watch a video to kind of catch myself back up to things.
The cutscenes are in the game, so you can literally just sit there and watch them.
Gotcha.
So
I need to fully acquaint myself with that game and learn it in and out, because that's one of the things that's always been an apprehension with me hopping back into it. Is every MMO you play, you got to learn it, and they're all basically similar in a lot of ways. But
down to like structure and stuff like that.
but some games will have like some systems that are different than other MMOs. You got to learn those. And Final Fantasy 14, I think, is probably like the biggest culprit of that, of having its own things that have, even if it's something, even if it has something that this is the thing that Godfall does as well. It will have things other games have, but it is so into the idea of renaming everything that like you got to look up terminology and understand what the fuck this is and what that is and what that is. And Final Fantasy 14 is like that. And I know most of it. I've played it off and on for years, but I've never felt like fully confident in it. Like when I started getting back into ESO, I was like, what's this? What's this? I had to start looking up things. Then like I, got to the point where it was like muscle memory. I was just kind of fucking sitting there grinding. I'd like to get to that point with 14 where I'm not thinking about shit except for being able to just take in the story and the gameplay. But every time I play, I'm always like, what's this? I got to ask somebody, and then they got to show me and explain this and that, and that's not that fun for me. I appreciate the help, but that's not like the MMO experience I'm hoping for. But that's kind of the learning hump of any game you play. MMOs are obviously a little more complicated than a lot of other types of games because of the amount of things going on in it. But anyway, I want to get back into it. I just got to, I guess, find the motivation. I got the time right now. I stopped playing Godfall, so I was only playing that for weeks.
I would say if you can put the kind of hours you put into Godfall, you'd have the 14 story completely beaten. I mean, I sat down in like 2-3 days and beat Endwalker. So
yeah, I don't know if I'd go that hard.
Well, that's me doing all the side quests. You could skip all that crap. I actually suggest to most people just do the story. All the side quests you can do that later when you got the time to just wander around. Mm-hmm. So just do the story. That way you get it without any weird pauses in there. You get to absorb just the story and enjoy it, especially when you start getting to Shadowbringers and Endwalker. And
I feel like I'm bringing it up again, and I guess it's fine because I mean, it has to do with this channel, but like I want to get back into streaming, and I would like to like try and do it on a schedule, not like because I work, I have a life and I got shit I'm doing and I fucking make episodes, but like at least like once a week for sure I'll stream. Like I want to do something like that. No promises, but I want to do that. I'm feeling inspired in 2022. Final Fantasy 14 I feel like would be a good game to stream.
Yeah, only thing
I wouldn't be a wealth of knowledge for anybody.
About is I know how you are when it comes to like chat happening, and if story's happening, I could just see you just having a conversation with chat and missing out on the details. So
yeah, that is worrying, and that is something I definitely would do. I prioritize people over.
You would have to shut that off on cutscenes, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe just block out the screen or whatever.
A lot of streamers just if they're using Twitch, put on emote only so that.
Yeah.
It's also to avoid spoilers, obviously, but the community's pretty good about it anyway.
Yeah, just during times where I'm like running back and forth, navigating that fucking cloud island.
That's a big one. Yeah. Heaven's Ward's got huge zones, man.
Yeah. I gotta go collect all these things to be able to fly in these zones and shit. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to fucking do that.
Dude. Do it. So what Toki does.
I don't do anything Toki does. I
He's
don't want to
just
be
like,
fucking even.
he's like, hey, just fly me to all these points. Like, okay.
Nobody needs to be connecting us.
So, you don't even have to find those. You can just ask someone to fly you to them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's boring. But it's convenient. That's the fucking...
Is it fun to find them?
No.
So, okay.
It's like...
There's plenty of people who would like to see them just disappear. I'm not on board with that. I don't think it's that bad.
For my playability, I'd like to see that, but I also think that'd be lame.
Yeah.
To take that out, because like you feel like you fucking earned it then if you went and collected it. That's something I admire about a lot of like Japanese and Korean MMOs is like they're like, you need to earn this shit, and then you can actually brag to people. Someone will play like a fucking like any game, they're like, I'm level 50. I'm like, who isn't? Bro, like, what are you talking about? But then like people play games like that and like, I collected every little fucking thing in the zone and shit, and I'm just like, god damn.
Yeah, except for 14 doesn't have a lot of stuff like that because they want everyone to enjoy it. So the only thing you can really do that with is ultimate encounters. Be like, I beat an ultimate. Well, yeah, you did. Congratulations, you're in the like 10% of people who've ever done it.
That's interesting. Guild Wars 2 had like a lot of like collectible shit in it. Like every zone wants you to really look in every nook and cranny, and I kind of liked that. I'm not like a collector type dude, but it did kind of give you something when you're in that zone. Like, I might as well just fucking 100% this.
Yeah, and I do some stuff like that in 14. Like I collect a bunch of minions and mounts and stuff like that, but I don't go like out of my way for it most of the time. I've played so long, I've amassed a crap ton of them at this point.
Yeah, it's naturally just going to happen over time. So,
but yeah, I mean, and just to kind of, obviously get out of the subject, I would just say if you do plan to do it, do just the story, and job quests, and then
yeah, I want to clear my fucking log and just dedicate time to the fucking progression.
I know a couple people on our free company who still, like, I can't look at their map, it drives me crazy, but they only did the MSQ. They don't even have flying in every zone. Like, they just went zoom.
I mean, that's effectively not what I want to do, but what I am doing.
Yeah. So, and you can go back for that stuff.
So I want to fly, dude. I'm sick of this place that I'm in.
Yeah, well, and I would say there's probably a large amount of people who agree with you in that zone in particular. So,
I just don't like the way it's designed. It looks cool.
It is visually cool.
I don't like the layout though.
But it is
navigating it
enormous.
Is annoying.
That's also the expansion they introduced flying.
Yeah.
So that zone is a representation of that
it's an
idea.
Old design, yeah.
Yeah. Versus like now zones are designed to be zones instead of just being like, you can fly here. Let's make it.
Yeah, they had an idea, they executed on it, and later they went like, how can we make this better? And they did. It
was like when they added swimming in Stormblood. The swimming area is huge. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be under the water here, man. So, fortunately, it's only like the one zone. But
that's good. That sounds awful. So, not a big fan of the swimming in games.
Yeah, but the story's great, and I think if you're a fan of Final Fantasies in general, not you, but people in general, you have to fucking just go through it at least once. Then shut your sub off and never play it again. That's fine. Like, do yourself a favor and play the story though.
That's mostly the reason I want to play it. It's not even the social aspect. I mean, I like MMOs. I like social
rating, but yeah.
Sure, I do like all that, but with this game in particular, I just want to experience the story since I don't hear anything other than it's amazing. So, and like with any game, if I heard enough people saying that, I'd be like, well, I need to check that game out. Yeah. This is just more of a commitment because it's fucking multiple games. It's a series of games.
I was hoping you weren't going to say, well, it's an MMO because like, you don't have to do the MMO stuff. So you can just play the story.
And that's why I'm saying the story is my main motivator. So I don't really view that game as social for me personally as like other MMOs. Not saying it doesn't have that. I just don't view it the same way because it's so JRPG-esque. So
yeah, I think every expansion is roughly 30 to 40 hours long in storytelling. So
yeah, that's a full game.
Yeah. Well, so I'm
it's like a JRPG.
Putting a number out there just so people also understand what I'm saying too. So yeah, worth it in my opinion, especially if you got time.
Yeah, well, we'll fucking see, dude. I got very little time until I have no time. So, anything else you've been playing?
That's it. trying to level another job right now, and then waiting to. We got a couple members we're waiting on to start raiding. So
very cool.
Yep.
All right. Nothing else?
Nope.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what games have you guys been playing, anything you would recommend, and what games are you looking forward to coming out soon that you can't wait to get your hands on. Let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. Also, should I start playing Final Fantasy 14? Let me know in the comments below. All right. So we got some videos to watch, of course. It's Tasty Cast, and what kind of Tasty Cast would it be if we didn't watch something? And yeah, the first thing we got to watch is a video that just dropped as of today, day of recording. It is a game called Leap, just Leap. This is the official announcement trailer, so they're announcing it. It's a game coming out. In the description it says Leap is a fast-paced online multiplayer first-person shooter featuring epic battles with up to 60 players, each armed to the teeth. Fight for either the United Earth Defense Coalition, UEDC, or the Rebel Exo-Terrans. Whoever pays the most wins your trigger finger and excessive arsenal. I don't know what the fuck that means.
A little fluff talk.
Yeah. So this is getting a little bit of talk in like the last like couple hours I've seen, and yeah, it's coming out on Steam, and I believe it's coming out on PS4 and PS5 later. So we're gonna watch it and we're gonna talk about it. I would ask you if you have any thoughts on this, but I barely know what the fuck it is.
I didn't even hear about it until you said we were gonna watch it. So.
Yeah, so we'll just discuss it after we watch it. Ready?
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go.
In the remote region of Thunder Valley lies a cyber.
Oh, and this game is made by the people who made the Slender Man game.
As the Leap Mercenary. Typically a violent.
If you know, you know. If you don't, who gives a shit?
Lacking any sense of self-awareness.
People liked it though.
They are usually seen causing destruction everywhere they go. They seem to have an unquenchable
I looked for a better
hunger
quality
for
trailer,
power.
and there is none.
Not
This is
to
the best they
mention
get. So
there
this is
is
straight
no
up from the people who make
that
it.
kills for entertainment.
Well, this is how they want it
We
seen.
catch a
Then.
rare glimpse of this mercenary in a solitary state. Perhaps just this once. This mercenary appears to have connected with nature.
Bye.
Or
That was excessive.
not.
All right, so we see a dude on a hoverboard, someone doing a backflip. People with glowing feet running around.
It's clean.
Yeah. A dude jumping after a dude through trees with a sword. A guy flying like a fucking missile.
Looks like they're just going for fun, which is actually kind of
That's
appreciated.
honestly, graphically, like it's clean, but it's not amazing looking.
Yeah.
But it does look like they're like trying to make a fucking first-person shooter you're not playing right now.
Yeah. Huh.
Join the beta. Maybe I will.
Damn, that's soon. It's in
That is very soon.
6 days.
In the rem-
All right, so we saw a lot in a little bit of time there. What'd you take from it?
I don't think you need to devote that much energy to kill one guy floating in a pond. That's my first thought.
That is true.
That's a lot of juice you could be spending on like blowing up a tank instead.
Yeah, for anybody listening, in the very beginning of the trailer, when you were hearing the guy talking, there's just like a dude in a inner tube in the lake sitting there, and there's all these like explosions and shit happening around him, and then some mothership show up above him, and then they just like blow him up.
Fucking Independence Day his ass.
They did.
So obviously, like it was for comedic effect, and I'm just being way too.
That's
Never
comedy,
mind.
dude. I didn't laugh, dude.
Gameplay wise, though, it looks like they're making like arena, like old school arena shooter style, like combat, but on like a really giant
Big
scale,
scale,
like
yeah.
battle royal scale style map type thing. So it's interesting. I'm like a hard sell when it comes to competitive shooters, but I do think it has an intriguing look. So
People don't really make like fun's subjective, and if you're playing
For
a
sure.
FPS you like, you're having fun. But when we're saying fun, I'm assuming, when speaking for both of us, We're talking about like doing shit for fun's sake and not going like, is it realistic? Does it meet this theme?
Yeah.
It's just like, let's fucking add a hoverboard. Can you do backflips when you jump? Why the fuck not? What if we had the ability to? This guy's like riding a fucking robot animal.
Yeah.
So it does look like a game that's just being built for like fun's sake. It does kind of have an arena shooter look to it, kind of, but the maps are big. I don't know if it's a battle royale. I didn't see that anywhere. They said there's up to 60 people on the map, which sounds fucking insane with what we're seeing here. But yeah, it does look like there's not a lot of FPSs out there. Back in the day, you get games like Time Splitters, Unreal Tournament, fucking all these tribes, all the shit. They were just like these crazy ideas, crazy guns, skill based, and I love those, but we don't get much games like that anymore. And so it is kind of refreshing to see a game with like this ragdoll where people are going flying when you shoot them, people doing all this like high octane flying through the sky,
I mean, those two
double
are having
jumping
a firefight in the sky.
People are like in the air flying around and shit, but they're also like running around. They're on hoverboards, which seems to be a pretty regular thing. I feel like everybody's gonna be able to pull those out. And a lot of crazy guns, a lot of crazy machine guns, missile launchers. It really looks like their first thought was like, how do we just make like a crazy fucking attention grabbing shooter?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, is it a tight shooter? I don't know. It looks pretty tight, but you gotta get your hands on it to know. But honestly, I and like identity wise, this doesn't really look like. If I saw this and didn't see Leap, I'd just be like, well, that's some FPS, right? It doesn't really have like a signature look to it to me. But the zaniness seems to be their first thought. It's also refreshing too that it's not like colorful, cartoony Fortnite looking or
thank you.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be a battle royale. I don't know if it is or not, but it doesn't look like it is one.
Question mark.
So I welcome that. I welcome a just a big team, big map, crazy weapons and items FPS. It kind of reminds me of an older game. It reminds me of like a game that would have came out in like the 2000s if the technology was there to do it. But yeah, I am intrigued. Watching this, I wouldn't say I'm like hyped on it, but I do want to try it.
Obviously, I'm sure you'll play it.
Yeah, it's coming out in early access, so I'll play it there unless I get into the beta. Then I'll try it there, and if it sucks, I won't care. I'm like, well, the game looked kind of cool, but it's not that great. But if it's really cool, maybe they'll have something on their hands here.
Yeah, maybe there'll be something other to play than just Halo.
Halo, Call of Duty, Fortnite. I guess PUBG went free to play finally.
Smart move.
Should have a long time ago.
Yeah.
They're like the only ones going like, pay us, and people are like, why?
Yeah, and I know Apex in certain parts of the world is doing really well still. So
It should. I mean, I don't know how it's balanced now. I watched. Have you heard of Death of a Game? It's I forgot the guy who does the series. He just did one on Overwatch. I'm like, are you really doing a Death of the Game on Overwatch already? Did that game die? I don't play it. I don't hear about it, but I thought it was kind of crazy.
I feel like everything attached to Activision and Blizzard right now is having a hard time.
He brought that up in the video.
Yeah.
He's like, he just started going through the Activision thing, and he's like, I have another video where I talked about Warcraft 3 Reforged or whatever. And he's
That
like,
was DOA.
and he's like, this kind of coincides with that, so make sure to watch that video too. Anyway, going off topic here.
Yeah.
The game looks cool. I'll try it. I'll report back and let you guys know what I thought of it. You'll probably hear about it if people end up liking it though, because when it comes to FPSs, like Splitgate, you hear about them. Like people go nuts when there's a new FPS that's worth playing. So,
Yeah, because the waters are kind of thin right now.
well, yeah, you get all these expected games, and when they're good, great. Like celebrate it, but like not a whole lot of new blood.
Yeah.
Or people chasing the battle royale thing or the free to play thing, and that just doesn't bring the excitement like a good old fashioned premium fucking FPS does. So yeah. Any other thoughts? You think you'd try it? Probably not.
I'll never. I won't say never.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have been known to dabble, but
Yeah, you play FPS every once in a while. You're just a little more particular about them.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely want to try it though. Definitely interested. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of Leap. Does it look like a game you would play? Is there something in this trailer you noticed that's worth talking about that we didn't really? I barely noticed that the guy was like riding some kind of robot animal thing. It was like a 4-legged thing the guy was riding.
Literally flying in the air while shooting each other.
Yeah. And does this game interest you? Do you want something different? What kind of FPSs are you looking for? Yeah, let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below when it comes to Leap. All right, next video we're going to watch is Rainbow Six Extraction official lore gameplay trailer. Now, earlier in this episode, I was just kind of talking about how I'm not hyped for this game. It's coming out soon, though. It's going to be on Gamepass. I know I'm going to try it. But I'm not hyped on it. But I also haven't been following it very much until recently. So we're going to watch this. We're going to kind of discuss what's going on with it, see if it kind of brings up any hype or maybe it doesn't. I know Ubisoft, it sucks that I've like defended Ubisoft for so long, because at a time I felt like it was worth it, but like recently I feel like Ubisoft's just making like the worst decisions ever. So it's hard for me to get excited about almost anything that they're doing nowadays, which really sucks to feel that way, because I don't want anybody, I don't enjoy shitting on things. So like it sucks to go like, well, Ubisoft's probably not gonna be that great. I don't want to feel like that. That sucks. I used to love almost all Ubisoft properties, but they've been making really dumb decisions and prioritizing really stupid fucking things. And so I'm hoping Rainbow Six Extraction is like fucking dope, and I played. I'm like, holy shit, they made a good game. I'm really hoping for that. And I'd fucking Ubisoft level with me, dude. Fucking where the hell is Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Oh yeah.
The one game left that I'm like, I want from Ubisoft. Where is it? I don't know. Is it being made? Like, what's going on with that? You too busy with your fucking NFTs? Like, I don't.
All 4 you sold?
Anyway, I'm getting annoyed just thinking about this shit. So anyway, I'm said Ubisoft Extraction, Rainbow Six Extraction coming out real soon. I think like the 25th or some shit. And I will probably try it out. Sounds interesting. A video I watched recently was talking about how like every map is like 3 times the size of a normal Rainbow Six map. So it's like not that big, but they're all gonna have like 36 sectors, I think they called them, and in each sector, random things can occur there. And things can change to make every playthrough of that map feel different each time. So that sounds kind of cool. And I guess as you play, there's like progression and then group progression of your squad. And the way you work together gives you more XP or something like that. And then there's like equipment you unlock and shit as you play. So sounds like a formula of a game I would typically play, but at the same time it's fucking Ubisoft and they're not really making good decisions. So anyway, any thoughts on Rainbow Six Extraction or Ubisoft in general before we watch this video?
Literally not a thought.
Okay. Great. All right, we're going to watch this in 3, 2, 1. Well, hold on. This is official lore gameplay trailer. So we're going to get lore and gameplay, I guess. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. Even if this game is good, it still kind of drives me nuts. The fucking Rainbow Six, like everything Ubisoft has just been bastardized. Like I gotta play fucking Ready or Not because you won't make a proper Rainbow Six.
Entry 1373. The Chimera parasite has resurfaced. But this time, the Rainbow Six organization has created a dedicated unit to face this new threat. React. I'm proud of the team Eliza and Jordan have managed to round up. The data we're recovering in the hot zones is critical. Hundreds of scientists assist me and the operators on the field in studying the parasite to adapt our technology, making sure everyone makes it back.
A lot of yellow.
That's how you know it's like a fucking biohazard situation. Looks like haze.
This
Remember that game?
Biofilm, the sprawl,
remember the
is key
name.
to the parasite's activity.
I was stoked for that game, and then it came
We
out. It was
also
awful.
found traces of human DNA in its composition.
Line the bait.
The aliens are so uninspired looking.
Oh yeah.
We've
But I guess
observed
there's
at
like
least 12
fucking
new
like
Archean
15 of
types.
them.
Well,
and
it's not hard to
various
make 15 when
mutations,
they all
which
use the
we are
same
starting to
engine.
give
That's true.
names.
I do like though that there's operators in it from Rainbow
The
Six,
Lurker,
and they'll have their
capable of
specialties,
cloaking
and
itself
then you
and
unlock
nearby
new operators.
arcades.
So like you can kind of diversify your squad and tactics, I guess.
The Apex, able
But-
to summon lesser creatures from the sprawl.
Enemies are so generic.
I'm concerned about how they can evolve.
Oh, I guess too, if you die, you lose that
We need to
operator and you have to
adapt
rescue them in
quickly.
another mission. So I kind of like that 'cause it's not, yeah, like that. It's not permadeath, but it's kind of a
After
middle
these
ground.
events, the latest data is
My brain's not working.
unsettling.
Warhammer.
The Chimera is up to something.
Like the Left 4
something
Dead system,
dark.
where if you die, you're in a closet.
Yeah.
I need to warn Eliza.
Yeah, but I guess it's like in a different mission. Like you lose
I
access
thought
to
we
that
were
guy until
ahead.
you rescue him.
But I was wrong.
Which I think sounds like kind of a cool system. I didn't even listen to any of that.
I mean, was struggling anyways because it's just a very strong accent and I have a terrible ear for it. So
Buddy Pass. Invite 2 friends to play for free when you're in the full game. Dude, they're giving this fucking game away. That's weird. Why? It's like they fucking know.
they probably do.
Look at those outfits. They look like shit. Like, those look horrible.
Well, even like
Talking shit.
I mean, it could end up being fun, right? Like,
It's probably going to be all right.
but even like their whole look is like just black with yellow highlights.
Well, they just took assets from Rainbow Six Siege. Because they had this event, and I played it. It was the last time I ever played Siege. Just because I was curious about this co-op event where it was essentially Call of Duty Zombies.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Left 4 Dead. You had to go through like 3 maps, I think they had. That had different difficulties, and there was these fucking aliens. And you just like went through and survived or whatever. Now they made a full game on it. But now it's kind of genius because they take all these assets. They already got these characters. They're literally the characters from Siege. And they're put in this game. And of course, their abilities are going to be tailored for a co-op scenario, not a versus scenario. And then they got these fucking yellow skins, black and yellow outfits. And then there's using it's kind of genius that there's like they made a whole full game that's going to have its own stuff going on, like the progression system and stuff, but all just kind of based off a game that already exists.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it seems low effort, and it might not be. I might play it. I might love it. But but now they're giving out on Game Pass day one. They got this buddy pass. Like it doesn't seem like they're confident in this fucking game.
Well, and it is Rainbow Six's assets, right? So like they don't really have to. I don't feel like they have to make a lot of money off it because they've been making constant money off Rainbow Six for years at this point.
That is true. Yeah.
So,
But they're gonna
if
wanna make
they
money.
couldn't get people in and play it, and then have this opportunity to just make more residual constant income off it, it's probably worth it for them to do
Oh,
that.
they're gonna fill this fucking game with NFTs and goddamn skin packs and all
Jesus
sorts of shit.
Christ. Yeah.
They're not gonna reverse engineer shit out of this game and be like, hey, okay, so the fucking shoes that Doc wears, everybody has them, but you can own them. And so you can tell your friends, like, those shoes you're wearing, I own those. Like, that's mine. They sold me the asset. Like, they still use it. It's licensed for them. They use it. But I have the receipt that says Doc shoes owned by me. Yeah. What about those pants? Well, I know the guy who owns those fucking pants, dude. Anyway. So anyway, the trailer was boring, I'm going to be honest. Not to be overly negative, I guess, but I just being honest with you, I watched that. And I wasn't super interested in the lore. Character design looks like an Ubisoft game. Just a bunch of really hip people that you don't believe would be in scenarios like this. Gameplay looks fine. I mean, it kind of looks like GTFO except for casual. These pre-order DLC skins look atrocious. The stuff I watched recently, maybe I should have just put that on or read about, was a lot more interesting than this. I don't honestly care about the lore too much. I mostly want to see the gameplay. Overall, this didn't do anything for me. It just kind of lets me know it does exist. It's coming out, and it is a finalized product that I'll be able to play with my friends, apparently, if I buy the full game for free. I wonder if the Game Pass version will have that or not. That would kind of make sense if they don't give you that. But if you buy the game, your friends can play for free. I wonder how that'll work. Because I might buy it then.
Oh, it's working on you.
Fuck.
Give them that Rainbow Six money.
They're either giving it to you for free or going like, you can give us money, I guess. You can play with your friends. Just give us something, dude. Give us anything. I'm gonna play it. I would love if in like 2 weeks to come back, I'm like, it's awesome. I was wrong. That'd be fucking dope. I would love that. That'd be my favorite scenario. But as of right now, it looks fine. It looks generic. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm fucking real wrong with this game. What's your thoughts? Trailer, hype level, super hyped, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer, like you said, it doesn't do a whole lot. I think it just kind of reinforces for anyone who was interested in the first place. I don't think it's going to grab too many new people, to be honest. I mean, I didn't care before the trailer. I still kind of don't care. It's not really up my alley to begin with. So I'm going to be a hard sell for this one. Even if someone.
What if I give you the buddy pass?
I think you'd be better off giving it to someone who enjoys shooting stuff. So, yeah. I don't know. I honestly, when they announced it was a pass for me. I don't play Rainbow Six, so I mean, like, why would I play Rainbow Six with infected things?
True. What if they made like a good Rainbow Six?
Maybe
that'd be sick.
They make good Dark Souls games.
Remember,
I'll play those.
Remember Vegas and Vegas 2? Those are the last good Rainbow Six games.
I did like Rainbow Six Vegas.
Vegas 2 was sick, dude. That game was so fucking fun. How the hell did they not make a third one? People loved those games. I played those games for fucking years. I would come back later to play them. They were so good.
Yeah, well, you're asking why Ubisoft does anything. So.
Yeah, they're real. We talk about time. They're real quick to do things and real quick to pull back from things. But lately, it seems like they're not really pulling back from things. They're just going like, let's fucking destroy our whole reputation. It's like, you know what, dude? Activision and Blizzard is so fucking hated right now that we could really fucking push a little bit, and we'd still look better than them.
Western AAA is just trying to push all their customers away right now. So,
yeah, it's fucking wild.
Yeah,
it's fucking wild, dude. We've talked before, and I don't want to get on the topic because we could talk about it for probably an hour. There's going to be another indie boom. It's coming.
Everyone's just going to play Eastern AAA games instead.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's true. And then you do have like that mid-tier AAA companies that aren't like fully big budget AAA companies, but they make like really high quality products. But like with this push for like NFTs in games, Ubisoft just chomping at the bit for that. And then all fucking AAA companies, all the major ones, the big three, I guess, pissing people off. Like, there's going to be like a push for like, we want things that we're not getting, and indie will deliver on that.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm just like waiting for like another indie boom.
Dude, some guy in his basement's about to get rich.
Yeah. Especially when everybody has access to Unreal.
Yeah.
Like, in Unity, it's like, dude, AAA has the fucking budget and the resources to make any fucking game that indie's making, but they don't make anything as creative. Typically, you don't typically see something from AAA and go like, "Holy shit, this is an idea I've never seen." You just go, "Wow, that's crazy! That game exists." How they make that?
The big difference is you have people who don't answer to anybody and people who answer to investors, and investors aren't necessarily gamers.
Oh, they're definitely not. They don't give a fuck, dude. They're just like, "How much money can I make from this?" And I don't even remember what the fuck we're talking about.
Not exciting. You'll probably play it anyways.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Let us know in the comments. Maybe you are excited for Rainbow Six Extraction and want to give me a buddy pass thing to play with you. Maybe there's something here you saw that you liked. Let me know in the comments what that is. What do you think of the trailer? Do you think it's a good one? Do you think I probably should have paid more attention to the lore? Probably not. And are you excited for this? Are you going to pick it up? Are you buying this? Are you going to wait for a Buddy Pass code from somebody? Are you playing on Game Pass?
Everyone's going to wait for Buddy Pass.
Are you waiting for it to go free to play? What are you going to get on PlayStation Plus in less than a year? And what's your overall thoughts about everything that we talked about? Do you got complaints about Ubisoft as well? Maybe you want to defend them. Be that guy. That'd be crazy.
Maybe you're a crypto bro and hate the constant NFT hate.
Yeah, maybe you love NFTs. The people who like NFTs are the ones that selling them, and I would love them too. I started thinking like I could sell NFTs. I can draw fucking designs and shit.
I can make a monkey.
I don't care if somebody owns something I drew. Like, you can have it. I don't care. Pay me. That's fine. I could draw a fucking monkey easily. I could draw a dope ass monkey. Anyway, yeah, let me know everything you think about in the comments below. Okay, so we're a little late on this, but we got to talk about it. CES happened, and it was fucking, they were in and out, man. Like, by the time it was over, I was like, fucking what?
I don't think I've even seen SES, and we're not talking about it, so we're just going to be bringing it up, but is the female
Traffic jam in the tunnel?
AI, no, I did see that, though. The female AI robot that people...
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it was pretty
thing's
cool.
creepy.
I'm not creeped out by it.
It's only creepy in the sense that it looks so good, but it's still so robotic.
Yeah.
And so there's something, it's eerie in the sense that it's not a person, obviously, but it's trying to mimic that. So, yeah, that was interesting. The traffic jam that everybody made a big deal about is like fucking a 5-minute delay or something like that to get out of the tunnel. But anyway, outside of all that, it happened. There's a bunch of stuff announced, a bunch of really cool fucking Samsung phone designs that I'm very interested in as a person who has the Z Fold 3
Transformer phone.
And loving it. Love this phone. It's my favorite phone ever, except for the screens are so fucking fragile. I've already scratched the front one. And so outside of buyer beware, dude, like seriously, fucking, I have this, I'm just going to put this little, I'm going to put this out there. I got the case that holds the pen or whatever. And in my pocket, the front moves. And so when things get in between, it's scratched my screen already. So think about it if you're going to get one. But the inside screen's great. The folding one, no scratch on that yet. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the thing we're going to talk about. PSVR 2 was announced. We had already known this was something they were working on. There was a little confusion a while back. We were talking about it. You thought that they were just kind of moving PSVR to PS5. I thought that they were making a PSVR 2. We have a confirmation now. Yeah. It is a thing. And they had a very brief presentation. This is the whole presentation. It's like 4 minutes long. So it's very quick. So we're going to watch that, give you our thoughts. We also have an infographic that shows a comparison to all the mainline headsets right now, where PSVR 2 is at. Before we watch this, what are your thoughts on PSVR 2? Do you have interest in it? Are you open to it? Do you have no interest in it? You already got PSVR, so maybe you're like, I don't need it. And anything you're hoping to see from it?
I without actually seeing this yet, I do know a little bit about it, and I definitely have some interest in it.
Yeah.
I am concerned about availability of said product.
Every time they announce something like this, I'm like, am I going to get one?
Yeah.
Like, can you even, should you be announcing this? Is it responsible? Can you make it?
But in current state of VR, and neither of us really have current VR, the controllers have just gotten wild. They do so much like motion and like haptic feedback and touching and stuff like that, like feedback and stuff like that. Not feedback, knowing when you're touching certain parts of it and stuff like that. And I know that they're putting some of that effort. They're not going to go full blown, obviously, in this because they're going to try to make more massively consumer friendly price point.
I am, though, from what I've heard so far, impressed with what they're doing with this.
Yeah.
It's quite the upgrade.
And also, since the original iteration of PSVR, VR in general has figured out that 120 hertz makes motion sickness a lot harder to get, and a certain type of screen type that they use inside, because they were using like brand new, like I think OLEDs and stuff like that in them, and they actually found out I think that LEDs, just like old school ones, actually.
I believe PSVR 2 is OLED as well.
I might have it backwards then. Yeah. Something also helps with that motion sickness.
Yeah.
Anyways, they've learned a lot of lessons. And the PSVR, excuse me, like all old VR, has a ton of cords, and most modern VR has single cord stuff now. So
that's fucking huge
it's
because I have
huge.
the original Vive,
Yeah.
and it's still great.
I mean, I hooked up my PSVR recently, and holy shit, there's so many cords.
Yeah, and so the two biggest hurdles for VR that I think one's still not solved yet is the motion sickness, which luckily I don't deal with. But that is, if it makes anybody sick, they're not going to use it. Plain and simple. So how you gonna push the I guess the state of VR if people can't consume it? You got to fix that, and they've done a lot of things to fix that. But then also the encumbrance of using VR, setting it up, putting it on,
Weight variants and stuff like that too.
Yeah, you can't even have it on that long. Like people keep thinking you're gonna live in VR or whatever. They better make some breathable headsets because fucking that shit gets hot after a while. And you're moving too. You're up and moving. So like you're up moving for like 2-3 hours. You're sweating inside where your eyes are at. Your eyes are sweating, and you're just crying in there, and you're moving around stuff. Like eventually, you're like, I gotta take this fucker off.
I need a break. Yeah.
And so, yeah, they gotta get through that. They gotta make less cords or no cords, but then you gotta worry about battery power. How long can it last? All sorts of shit.
Can you keep the frame rate up at that rate?
Yeah, because it's got to have a signal that's going, and lighthouses, and how you. I mean, eventually, the best thing they're gonna be able to do, like when VR will take off, is when it's also AR, because AR is gonna be huge. People don't really realize like the future of AR, but when you can do both, in a like maybe in a glasses form, something that's really minimal, and this is very far off. And you could do it just wirelessly connected to your phone. That's when I think everybody will just adopt it and be like, this is fun.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, yeah. But like that's very futuristic. But like the big headset thing, just like when 3D TVs are trying to get pushed, nobody's gonna. Some enthusiasts are gonna buy them, but that's it, because most people don't want to put things on.
Yeah.
To experience things. If you can do 3D without it, like the fucking 3DS, which is amazing that they did. It's fucking crazy they did it. And most people didn't play with it, but they still bought the fucker. They didn't care about that gimmick. They bought it because it's a great product, but they also had access to that. Same thing with VR. Some people were like, I don't want to wear a fucking headset. And it's a lot. There's all these cords. I gotta set shit up. You for sure are. I know people who still haven't tried like true VR, and they're like, I don't care about VR. I'm like, you don't know. You haven't fucking tried it.
It's pretty wild.
It's crazy, dude. It's still crazy, and I've done it plenty. But anyway, there's a lot of hurdles to get through when it comes to VR. And now with like, all the metaverse shit,
that they're gonna push like crazy.
And when it comes to like Facebook and Meta, I'm not interested at all.
No, fuck Facebook.
You're gonna see more and more VR get pushed, and so a lot more companies are gonna try and make this a little more accessible. Yeah. And I think, wrapping it back around, PSVR was at one point, and still is probably one of the more accessible VRs out there. It's an interesting lower mid-tier headset. It gives you the VR experience at a price point that's completely fair and accessible for VR, and it's better than like one of those little like wireless fucking Oculus things that are just like ways to watch like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I am pretty interested in PSVR too. I think PSVR was really cool. Although now I'm like, do they have like a trade up program? Because I don't want 2 PlayStation headsets.
Yeah, it's rough for sure. Plus, it would probably be in their interest to offer something like that anyways, because they could recycle electronics.
Yeah, please, Sony. If you've ever watched my channel, hopefully it's right now, and hopefully you're feeling like, you know what, I'm up to do things people just tell me to do right now. What I'm telling you to do is offer a trade program. You do it with your cameras already. I keep bringing up their cameras. You do it with other things, and so fucking just let people like give you those. You can reuse that shit, which would be green and great for the environment, but also helpful to me, and maybe lower, like take $50, $100, something off the thing. That'd be nice. It'd be a lot, but anyway, that'd be nice. So we should watch this.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about it more. We're already talking about it. We haven't watched it. Ready?
Well, I'll say we both have done VRs.
Yeah, and we're both into it. So
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. Official PlayStation presentation, CES 2022. We're in 2022, guys. What the fuck?
Innovation for us at PlayStation also means that we're going to lead the way with exploring new technology that unlocks new entertainment experiences.
Okay.
Virtual reality is central.
That guy
to
looks like somebody's
philosophy.
woke him up off the
Nothing
couch like 5 minutes
elicits
ago,
emotion
and he's
quite
pissed.
like the VR medium.
Yeah,
With
that's
next
me
generation VR for PS5, it's our vision
looks confused
to
and
provide the
dedicated.
ultimate entertainment
I
experience.
really have to go to work.
Today, I'm thrilled to announce the official names for our next-gen VR system, PlayStation VR 2.
Really glad they didn't bail
And our
on it.
next-gen controllers will
Oh,
be
dude.
called PlayStation VR 2 Sense controllers.
I think Sony's doing more for VR than most
PlayStation
companies
VR 2
because they're a
will introduce a
mainline
new
brand.
generation of VR games that enable players to feel a greater sense of presence and become more immersed within their game worlds once they put on the headset and wield the controllers. PlayStation VR 2 will bring together the power of technology with the creativity of developers. For gamers, that means experiences that can evoke a whole range of emotions.
You don't speak for me.
PlayStation VR 2 taps into the latest
He
technology
thinks he does.
to deliver a
So I gotta
truly
speak for all of
next-gen
you
experience
plebs.
that brings the player closer to the gameplay experience. We've developed new sensory features, enhanced controls and tracking, and upgraded visual fidelity. For example, with eye tracking, you'll be able to interact
yeah, they
more
put eye tracking
intuitively
in
with
VR
your
too,
character.
which is
while
It's a
allowing
pretty
for
advanced
improved
headset.
social expression.
because like I watch like real-time
headset
3D
also
mocap
has
stuff and
feedback,
use VR for that.
So players will feel
And,
subtle,
the eye tracking is
responsive
there, so they can
vibrations
wink and everything at
that
you.
heighten the sensations of their in-game actions. Visually, PlayStation VR 2 will offer a best-in-class experience with 4K HDR, foveated rendering, and 110-degree field of view.
Good
All
old
of this
foveated
is on
rendering.
top of the new PlayStation VR 2 Sense controllers, which enable players to feel and interact with games.
I'm glad
in
we're
a much
getting
more
new
visceral way.
controllers and not the PS3 Move.
We're also
Yeah.
excited to announce that one of the biggest exclusive franchises on PlayStation will be coming to PlayStation VR 2.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I heard about this.
Horizon Call of the Mountain from Guerrilla Games and Firesprite Games. This is an original game built for PlayStation VR 2 that will take players deeper into the world of Horizon. Let's take an early look at Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Hi everyone, I'm Jan-Mart van Beek. I'm one of the studio directors at Guerrilla. Everyone at our studio is working to put the last finishing touches on Horizon Forbidden West as we get ready for launch. We're all very excited and can't wait to get the game into your hands on the 18th of February. It's only a few more weeks.
His
Now, as
facial
we
hair
join
looks like
Aloy on
Wookiee
our
hair.
journey into the
gonna
Forbidden
say it
West,
looks like
it's great to know that this is
normal
not the
hair.
final frontier.
Yeah, it looks like a
of
head of hair,
Yeah.
like on his fucking face.
He
It's only the
definitely
beginning.
brushes it.
Our teams have also been
I brush
working on
my
a
shit,
brand new
dude.
game
Fucking-
set
it's
in the world
not
of
straight
Horizon,
like that.
which we are very proud to announce.
Using
So
oils
today,
and blah blah blah.
we'd like to tell you that we're creating a unique new Horizon
Yeah,
The
experience.
front,
I got the
One that
kinky
has been
hair
built
too.
from the
on
ground
the
up for
I
PlayStation's
got a
next-gen
kinky beard, bro.
VR.
Fucking, I got
Designed to push
I don't got
gameplay,
the front of my
technology,
head
and
hair
hardware innovation.
moving down my face to
And
my
it truly
chin.
shows what's possible with the
what
hardware's
looks like
best-in-class
happened here.
visual
It's
experience
impressive,
and
for
brand
sure.
new controllers,
It's alive.
allowing you to interact and feel immersed in the world of Horizon in a whole new way.
Quit advertising to
So
show us.
please enjoy this glimpse into our new
I feel like this guy's
adventure.
gonna watch this and hit
Welcome
me up. And he's like,
to
"Hey, dude, I heard
Horizon
what you said about
Call
my
of the
facial hair.
Mountain."
Want to do an interview?" I'm like, "Yes, I will definitely talk to you." Then he's gonna be like, "What's up with this gamer rage?" I'm like, "I'm not angry at all."
Yeah, I just speak very
Just talk like an asshole.
abrasively.
I'm passionate, dude. That's what they say. That's what everybody says. I'm passionate. This will be fucking. That was very brief. The thing that drives me nuts about that is VR doesn't translate to screen
Ever.
at all. Like it doesn't. What you see is not indicative of anything outside of that. That visually is what you're gonna see, like thematically.
Yeah.
And that they have this little blip of the robot walking over them, and they're like, "Whoa, shit!" And that's it. It's like that doesn't really fucking. That's just kind of confirmed to me that yeah, Gorilla is working on a VR game. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it gets like the Half-Life Alyx treatment. I doubt it will, but of being like a AAA feeling experience in VR, because we need more of those.
There's a completely different kind of passion there, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I just remember playing Half-Life Alyx, and if it was just like a normal FPS, it would still be an interesting experience to have for sure, but it wouldn't be like anything modern feeling. But like for VR, it's a huge fucking step.
Yeah.
Also, Boneworks. Everybody keeps saying they hope they can throw it on PSVR 2 because that's still like one of the most popular of the VR games. All right, so we'll talk about the presentation, but I kind of want to bring up this infographic real quick so we can get an idea of the comparisons before we talk about this in depth. In front of you, this is via IGN. For anybody listening, I'll read off what's going on here. We have a chart of 4 headsets. We have PSVR 2, PSVR, the original, Oculus Quest 2, which is a popular headset, and then the Valve Index, which I think at this point is still like the best of the high-end VR headsets. I believe at this time.
I would assume so as well.
Yeah. And so we got the comparison. The first one is pixels per eye. The PSVR 2 is 2000 by 2040 per eye.
Okay, yeah.
The PSVR was 960 by 1080. The Oculus Quest 2 is 1832 by 1920. And then Valve Index is 1600 by 1440. So it is
the highest resolution.
It's the highest resolution.
Yeah.
This is like and this can be like consumer level. I guarantee this thing won't be super. I mean, $400 or $500 probably. They're gonna charge for this thing.
Well, yeah, because they're charging you $400 or $500 for the PlayStation 5 as well. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can't see them going above that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so the PSVR 2 is highest, which is kind of fucking crazy to think about. Then we got display. PSVR 2 is OLED. PSVR was also OLED, which is interesting. And then the Oculus and the Valve Index are both LCD.
I think I was correct then, because I think Valve picked LCD because it reduces motion sickness.
That would make sense only because like I was like, why would the Index not have OLED unless there's something up with OLED?
Yeah.
It seems like Sony's making that decision, although OLED is nicer to look at.
Way crispy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I was like, why would they actively choose LCD? So there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so yeah, with Sony you're getting OLED. Everybody else seems to have LCD. Screen refresh rate with the PSVR 2 is up to 120 hertz.
It's like the minimum.
And that seems to be the same with everybody. Everybody's got 120 hertz except for the Valve Index, which is at 144 hertz, so a little bit higher. Then with the tracking, we have the PSVR 2 having inside-out tracking, ×4 built-in cameras. And then PSVR was PS camera, LEDs, and accelerometer and gyroscopes. So a more complicated grouping of different peripherals. And the PSVR 2 is just going to have some cameras built in, I guess. The Oculus Quest 2 also has the same system as PSVR 2 with inside-out tracking, 4 built-in cameras. And then Valve Index does the Steam VR base stations 2.0 x2 or ×2, which is essentially lighthouses similar to the Vive. So I am curious about how accurate this 4 times built-in camera tracking is.
Well,
because I'm sure it'll work great, but I don't know if it's going to be as accurate as having the tracking of the headset accelerometers and lighthouses watching.
For sure. And the one thing I was going to bring up too is I have heard, and I haven't used an Oculus Quest 2, but I have heard the Oculus Quest 2 is a good piece of hardware. So I just don't like the attachments that come with Oculus. So,
yeah, for sure.
So I imagine if they're using that tech, it's going to be comparable.
Well, and I just view Oculus as the commercial consumer level headsets that are meant for Facebook, Walmart, IKEA, and other people to get your grandma to shop at home. Essentially, that's what I see Oculus as. So I know you can game on them, but I don't view them as that. So they are a Trojan horse. Yeah. So let's see. Then with eye tracking, they all don't have it except for PSVR 2, which is very interesting.
That is interesting.
The Valve Index doesn't have it. Oculus doesn't have it. PSVR definitely didn't have it. but PSVR 2 is going to have it. So far, the PSVR 2, unless the tracking on it sucks, seems to be pretty good. Then we got field of view approximate, which is 110 degrees on the PSVR 2, 10 degrees more than the PSVR, which was 100 degrees. And then Oculus Quest 2 is 90 degrees, and the Valve Index is 130 degrees. So it's giving you a lot more field of view there than the other ones. Let's see, which is interesting because the PSVR compared to my Vive does feel a little more like I'm viewing through, like not quite binoculars, but the field of view is not as peripheral as the Vive is. The Vive feels much more immersive in that sense. So, doesn't surprise me that the Valve Index has got a bigger field of view. Let's see, audio headphone jack is on the PSVR 1 and 2. And then on the Oculus Quest 2, we got built-in speakers and headphone jack. It's interesting, it's got built-in speakers. I know there's an attachment for the Vive later. I'm sure it's attached now, but there's an attachment you can get for the Vive for that. Yeah. And then built-in adjustable speakers, off-ear speakers for Valve Index. So giving you a lot of options with the Index. So yeah, you're going to have a headphone jack with the PSVR 2. Which is seems standard. Corded ? PSVR 2 is corded. PSVR is corded.
Very corded.
The Valve Index is corded. Yeah, but the PSVR is less corded. Like at least it keeps them all together. Like the fucking Vive, at least the one I have, it's a fucking mess. And then Oculus Quest 2 is optional because it's trying to get your grandma to shop at IKEA at home. Additional hardware required ? Yes for the PSVR 2. It says PS5. And then yes for the PSVR, PS4, and PS5 with adapter and a PS camera. It's interesting they're not talking about camera at all with PSVR 2 because it's going to be using the tracking.
Its own tracking.
Hopefully it doesn't need a camera at all. That'd be fucking great. And then with Oculus Quest 2, optional gaming PC. So you can use it with or without. And then Valve Index, yes, gaming PC. Of course you need a gaming PC for that. And then last, and I think this is cut off on the screen, so anybody watching visually, you're in the same boat as people listening. It says controllers. The PSVR 2 is Sense controllers. You get 2 of those. And then with the PSVR, it's DualShock 4 and PS Move. 2 of them, and then Oculus Quest 2, Oculus Touch, 2 of them, and then Valve Index is Valve Index controllers times 2. So, what we think of the presentation? What do you think about what they said about, very vaguely about it, claiming that it is? I mean, they said it was pretty much like fucking. Like not even just an upgrade, but also like comparable to like VR headsets now, and then which we're seeing, and does it? Is there merit to that claim? Do you think? And what do you think about the comparison?
I think there's 100% merit to the claim with what they're showing, and the fact that they're using the same sort of tracking that the big, one of the big companies is using. I think shows a lot because as much as I like PSVR. Its tracking is really bizarre compared to most VR because it uses old tech to do it.
I'm both impressed with what it's capable of doing, but also compared to other VR, it's not that great. But it's amazing that they're able to get that much immersion out of old tech.
Oh yeah, so yeah, in case you don't know, like it uses the old PlayStation camera with the old PlayStation 3 Move controllers. And that's mostly just so it can track the light bulbs at the top of it. And then the headset has a bunch of lights on it for the camera to track. And if you move too far, the screen will cut off and be like, the camera can't see you.
Yeah.
So it's very limited. It's a cool experience still, don't get me wrong.
But within the confines of that old tech viewing you, it's pretty reactive.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty decent.
I have recently used it to do some No Man's Sky in VR. It's a little wonky because that game was designed with the idea of having hand controllers, and the PlayStation 4 controller does not compare to that. But it was still fun. That being said, PSVR 2 VR 2 is legitimately just a VR headset setup, the same as the other 2
Yeah, it seems legit.
options that are on the table that you should be looking at. And the eye tracking being only in that is a kind of a big deal.
It is. They're offering something that the high-end one isn't.
Yeah, well, and especially because Sony's dabbled before with things like PlayStation, was it Home or whatever, where you could hang out with people.
Yeah.
If you have eye tracking, that makes those kind of experiences way more fun.
Well, some of the biggest attractions of VR has been like social stuff.
Yeah.
Like hanging out and throwing darts or hitting each other with random things or playing pool or all these weird things. And so like when you're playing with other people, typically their avatar is just kind of like floating around, their arms are moving, but like they don't have legs or whatever.
Blinking animations or something.
Yeah, and the people look kind of robotic or whatever. But yeah, if they can actually track like where you're looking, you kind of identify more emotion out of people if they're looking at you, looking at somebody else, blinking, keeping their eyes closed, all that kind of stuff. It gives information.
It's dope. Honestly, I think it's pretty exciting. So
yeah, no, I agree. This is like a huge upgrade from the PSVR, but I'm mostly surprised on how modern and comparable it is to headsets.
Yeah.
And all this tells me is not necessarily that that like they're making a huge move to catch up. It kind of tells me that either they have, because I know this thing's not going to be $1,000. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
They've either made proprietary stuff to make this more affordable for them to make, which makes sense because Sony's a technology company, but or more so, what I assume is happening is to make VR headsets has become a lot more accessible and cheaper.
Yeah.
To the point where you can offer stuff like this at a more affordable price. Because when I bought my VR and to buy like the Index, you're investing in new technology, or you were at least. And now it seems Oculus has kind of standardized that your grandma could buy it.
Yeah.
For IKEA, buying McDonald's, all that shit. And so PSVR 2, coming from a company like Sony, is showing off that you can get a high-end premium headset, most likely, I don't know, but I assume at an affordable price for VR. I think this really just shows that the tech for it is finally getting to a point where it's not this new and crazy technology that's going to cost you a huge premium now.
Yeah.
And they're really showing it off with these stats.
I mean, really the only downside I can see here, viewing, obviously a graph, your ecosystem is PlayStation. That's the downside.
You're on PS5. Somebody actually brought up the day that this presentation happened. They said it would be amazing, and I agree, and be fucking huge if this worked on PC as well.
You can technically make the original work on PC.
Well, I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's workarounds. But if Sony was just like, hey, you can play this on PS5, and if your computer can handle it, you can play our PlayStation exclusive games on PC as well.
Yeah. They'd sell a shit ton at that point.
Oh, yeah, dude. Fucking, especially if they're cheap. Cheaper than like a fucking Index.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to buy one anyway. I'm just going to fucking say it. But I am very interested in this. But
yeah, I find it hard to believe that I would pass it on it myself. So
it just seems like I'm into VR already, and this seems like not just like, oh, that's pretty cool for PlayStation. It seems like a pretty cool fucking VR headset.
Yeah.
And it's going to have the exclusives and backing of Sony and their companies.
Yeah.
So you're going to have experiences on this VR headset you're not going to have on the other VR headsets.
Yeah, you just don't have Steam.
Exactly. Unless it worked on PC, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be like, they'd sell so much more of these.
Big move, Sony. Do it.
It'd be huge, yeah. So I hope they do that, because that'd be gigantic. That'd be fucking, everybody needs to buy this fucker. But we don't know if that's true. It's probably not. There's no reason to believe it. No one's said anything to make that speculation accurate. But I did see someone bring that up, and I'm like, that'd be a fucking huge move. But anyway, to kind of maybe wrap this up a bit, I think the presentation was short and sweet. It's interesting they revealed it at CES and they didn't do like a state of play. I think that would have been a lot more fun, but it doesn't seem like they have a lot of things to show you.
I mean, CES is a press event, so I mean, like,
yeah. And it got out. Everybody heard about it. And it is tech. And again, they didn't have a lot of games to show. They showed the tech, and they barely showed it.
Show the headset.
Yeah, exactly. We don't even know what the fuck it looks like. I assume it's gonna look really cool though, because even though the PSVR headset is like, I don't know, cheaper feeling than like other headsets, it looks very PlayStation. It almost looks like Astrobot kind of. It's got like a really sci-fi look to it, which is pretty cool. So I assume PSVR 2's headset is going to be really cool as well. But the presentation, short and sweet, reveals it, kind of, that it exists, and they say, hey, it's going to be pretty fucking cool. And then we're looking at the stats, I'm like, yeah, it does look pretty fucking cool. Yeah. So they've definitely piqued my interest. I would say more than just like, oh, PSVR 2 is coming out. You gonna pick that up? And I'm like, yeah, probably. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get that for sure. Like that sounds fucking really good. And again, speculating, I assume this thing. If I was guessing, I think it's gonna be between $400 to $500. Yeah. That's where I'm at. When PSVR came out, it's $400. It'd be amazing if that comes out at $400. I don't know how the fuck they do it, but if they do it, you're going to sell a bunch of these. $500 feels right. I don't think they can go above $500 though. Maybe $550, the highest, but they're not going to go $600. Sony's never going to touch $600 again. Nobody will touch $600 again because Sony, like they learned the lesson for everybody.
Yeah.
You can't sell a console for $600.
I mean, I would love to see 400.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Look at these fucking
it
stats.
Is coming with the controllers, which the first iteration did not.
Maybe that's how they get you.
But you're not buying a camera either.
Yeah. Maybe you buy the headset for $400, $500, and then they sell the controllers. Those would have to be like $80 to $100 for the pair at the least.
Probably.
I don't think that'd be a $6 thing unless they're cheap, feeling like
I
cheap
feel
plastic.
like they're going to bundle the whole thing together. There's no way they don't, because you can't use the controller.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I would say with PSVR, you had the option. You just use your controller you already invested in, which is smart. Then you use the old fucking PS Move controllers, which worked fine-ish. I have them, but
by making sure you get the controllers, and obviously this is speculation. They didn't say they're doing this.
Yeah. This is all speculation.
And getting rid of the camera, you've just gotten room scale VR as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if this can do full-on room scale VR, which it should be able to.
Oh yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And if they can do it in a way that has minimal setup, minimal cords, all that kind of stuff, this is going to be a very comparable to like Oculus level headset.
Yeah.
And fucking with how much not just PlayStation 5 but Xbox has sold. I mean, they're outselling all their older consoles.
Yeah.
But the demand for these consoles right now is fucking huge. I think a lot of it is because of the drought. People always want things they can't fucking have, but also they're great consoles.
It's obviously not lately, but like everyone was stuck in their house for such a long time too.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and shit's fucked up and you just want to enjoy your life, so you buy things that are fun. I get it. But with that, it just invites more people to go like, hey, you can experience PlayStation 5 in this way now. And you don't have to go like, well, it's only PSVR. Be like, no, PSVR 2 is pretty fucking cool. So it's a smart move that they have a big pool of people that can sell these to. So I don't remember the point I was making. I'm just excited for this thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to be comparable to PC version headsets. So
yeah, me neither. I was just like looking at these numbers. I'm like, wait, what? How are you doing that?
Yeah, it's neat.
Unless that thing comes out like $1,000, I'm like, you're not selling that.
And then, like you said, or like you quoted someone else saying, if they put this on PC, man, as well,
game over, dude. It's like my fucking PlayStation 4 racing wheel works on PC. It works on everything except for Xbox.
Well, especially if it's just because like how many USBs does the PlayStation 5 have, right? So like if it's just a one USB setup, why wouldn't it work on PC?
Yeah, exactly.
So
that'd be so fucking cool though. That would be fucking dope as shit. Anyway, I feel like I'm pretty much out of things to say. I'm excited for it. I definitely want to see what the design is. I would like to see the price point. I still feel like $400-$500. Do you agree with me on that, or do you think different?
I could see 500. I don't want to pay 500, but I think that's probably fair if it's coming with controllers.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little risky going higher than that. Obviously, Index is 1,000.
Yeah.
But that's for everything. That's the lighthouses, the headset, and the controllers. So
Yeah, the biggest price point of that is the headset, but you are buying like when I bought my Vive, it's like a fucking giant box full of shit.
one that's also the speakers and everything. It's
exactly.
A lot, so
And so like if you're selling like a headset with some controllers and like it's just one USB to plug in, which would be amazing, and no other peripherals, you can cut the cost on just the materials alone. And it's not using advanced tracking. It's using 4 cameras and probably a pretty smart like algorithm of telling where you're at, and that's all fucking digital shit. So it's technology. It's like I'm bringing up cameras a lot. Sorry, fucking. It's like a real professional camera's so much better than your fucking phone, but it's amazing what your phone can do when it takes pictures.
phones are pretty crazy.
Like the digital algorithms that can clean up your picture when you hit the fucking button to make them look decent is cheaper to sell to you and throw together than fucking selling you a big ass fucking camera
with glass.
with all that shit. And so the same thing with this, like if you can get the headset to mimic using all these peripherals to track all that shit in a pretty close fashion, doesn't have to be the best, but if it's pretty close, you can cut a lot of the price. So
Yeah, it's exciting.
yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to say on that? I feel like we just sit here and
talking in
keep,
circles at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So yeah, I'll throw it to you guys watching and listening. Let us know, what do you guys think about PSVR 2? First off, what do you think about VR? Are you somebody who's into it, not into it? Are you not really initiated into it? Are you in the market for a new headset? Is something you're interested in? If you do have a headset, which one do you use, or which one do you prefer or like or whatever? And are you interested in PSVR 2? What do you think the price point's going to be? What would you speculate? What do you think's coming in the whole package? We assume obviously it's the controller and the headset. And what do you expect from it? What do you want from it? Do you think it's a good move? Would you like to see it also work on PC? And I don't know why you would say no. And no, keep it on fucking PlayStation. And we think about that eye tracking only on that. That's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. It's really cool. And yeah, let us know your thoughts in general when it comes to VR and PSVR 2. Hopefully it's affordable. All right, we're closing out with reading your comments. If you want your comment read for sure, make sure to type in hashtag STLG. Otherwise, I read at random. We're going to reflect on prior episodes and reply to your comments. So, we're going a little further back because the holidays happened, so everything was kind of out of whack or whatever, and we're just going to kind of read some of the stuff you guys said. If I didn't read your comment, hashtag STLG. Because I did skip a couple episodes to kind of shorten this. I have 4 episodes queued up here to read. So our first comment is on our review of Guilty Gear Strive, where we reviewed Guilty Gear Strive. So if you're curious about our thoughts on that game, it's there. That was for Game of the Month for December 2021. That's come and gone. Maneki Neko says, "What up, friends? What's up? Am interested in Guilty Gear Strive. Maybe this will push me over the top to get it. But I am extremely excited for 2022. So many different RPGs set to come out. It's going to be hard fitting them all in." Preach. Yeah, I mean, the RPGs alone, but everything. Yeah. I mean, I'm worried about the next 2 months, let alone the rest of the year. Luckily, I'm getting the break with Stalker 2, and I can just wait till the end of the year and play it then. But there's a lot of things coming out, so I agree with you 100%. Also, if you are into fighting games and you like Street Fighter style 2D perspective ones, I don't think you can really do better than Guilty Gear.
No, it's awesome.
In my opinion.
I also read today because I was trying to figure out the crossplay situation with this game. They've sold over 500,000 copies of this game, which is huge for a fighting game. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's kind of amazing.
Yeah,
because like fighting games and the genre, it's not like
it's pretty niche,
but it doesn't seem niche.
Yeah,
but when you think about the numbers, it is niche compared to games that sell like 3-6 million or the crazy 10 plus.
We don't
million.
talk COD numbers. Yeah.
I always try and like remind people that because they'll go like they'll start talking about numbers. And I'm like, dude, people don't sell like Grand Theft Auto 5, COD, numbers. It doesn't happen. These are anomalies. Like 6 million is like really fucking good.
Yeah.
1 million for most people,
That's the
really
reason
good.
Everyone talked about Animal Crossing breaking like 25 million. Like that's insane numbers.
Yeah, Nintendo sells COD numbers with some of their games though.
Not Animal Crossing. Good lord.
Wow, that game kind of saved a lot of people during a rough time. So, people needed that game during that time for sure. So yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, you watched that episode, so hopefully we could help you with our insight maybe on that. But if you're into fighting games, definitely check it out.
Yeah, and if you're a little hesitant, I wait for it to go on sale. It is still full price right now, and the character edition is like an additional $40. So that's a pretty big investment. Mm-hmm. So,
but it's good.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. It's really good. And yeah, dude, you better get your shit straight, dude, because fucking get everything in order, because a lot of games are coming, and you're gonna need time to play them.
True.
Anything else?
No.
All right, thank you for the comment, Maneki Neko, and adding me on Twitter, and I'll see you there. And yeah, thanks for the comment. I'll see you in the trenches, dude. I'll see you in the fucking war zone. All right, moving on to the next video. We did our Game of the Year picks for 2021, where we picked our favorite game of 2021, our decided best game. You can't argue against it because it's our opinions. Let us know yours. And our runner-ups. So make sure to go check that out. This is a long sit, but it's a really, really fun episode. And quick reminder, we're going to be doing Best Month of PlayStation Plus in 2021 very soon, where we will have probably the same panel, pretty similar panel, doing a full-on conversation about what we thought the best month of PlayStation Plus was in 2021. So look forward to that. But check out this episode. It was a really good one. I was very happy with how this conversation went. And we got a comment from Jeremy saying, "Awesome video, guys. Nicely done. All of you. Was fun to watch." Thank you very much. It was very fun to film with everybody. I always enjoy getting everyone together for these conversations. 2021 was a strange gaming year for me. The first half of the year, I only played old game, and the second half, I discovered Final Fantasy XIV. Been practically playing only this wonderful game since then. The only content I played that came out in 2021 was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, Yuffie DLC. So that's my number one game of the year. What do you think about that?
I think it's. I have opinions on Final Fantasy XIV with him because, and play the game however you want. But I've never met someone who had so many max level characters and was still in the first expansion.
How's that happen?
Because he won't do the story. He just keeps doing side content.
What? What the fuck?
He's a madman.
That's crazy. Yeah. How do you do that? Let's not comment on this video. We'll continue this investigation in the next episode.
Yeah, same expansion as you. With multiple levels.
Is he still there?
He might be in Stormblood.
How? How is that a fucking thing, dude?
Insanity.
I feel like that's crazy. That's really crazy.
I mean, you're enjoying yourself. Have fun, man. Like,
I mean, he's enjoying he's only playing that wonderful game. So he's really enjoying it. Let him enjoy it the way he wants.
Yep, 100%.
He pays monthly like the rest of you.
Yep, 100%.
As for your pick for Game of the Year, under the circumstances you've said that you didn't play much games in 2021, which, like, as a person who did play like a lot of things in 2021, I feel like I didn't play much either in 2021. Those from 2021. It's an interesting pick. It's not something I really thought about because I completely forgot that DLC came out in 2021. For some reason, I thought it came out in 2020. 2020. I was thinking about all the years now. I'm like, fuck, what year is it? And that makes sense. I know you love that game. I still got to finish it. I still need to play that version. But it's a good pick. It's a good pick. And nobody on our panel brought it up. So I guess
I didn't play
everybody kind of... that makes sense. And yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying Final Fantasy 14. Maybe I'll see you in there soon-ish. Maybe. Any thoughts on the Yuffie DLC? You're great.
I mean, I need to play at some point.
Game of the Year?
Without... shooting myself in the foot too much. Final Fantasy VII Remake is really good, but I like the original better. So
yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
And from what I've played so far, I think it's really awesome the way they did it, and I really want the next one. But Of course, if you played the original, that's where the heart's at for sure. But they've done a great job with the remake.
It
It's
is
fantastic from what I've
game.
played.
Yeah.
So, like, it's better than what we would have expected.
It's better than what I
movies.
expect from most companies
100%.
making remakes of their games.
100%. They went all out with it. And it's fucking
Yeah.
fantastic. So,
I need to play it still. So.
and yeah, unless you have anything else to say. Thank you for the comment, Jeremy. I'm glad you enjoyed that episode, and we appreciate your support. And I'm glad you're really enjoying Final Fantasy 14. You're a fucking madman. Getting all those max level characters and not even finishing the story. What the hell's going on, dude? You don't like the story? What's going on? And thank you for the comment. Moving on, we got. I recently did 2 episodes, little bite-sized episodes. I used to do them more often, and well, to be honest with you, by the middle to the end of 2021, my life was doing some things, and the world's kind of crazy, and I just kind of lost motivation. But I'm back. I'm trying to do some more news type episodes, so I did that. I talked about Dying Light 2 and the 500-hour completion time that was controversial on Twitter. Gave my thoughts on that. And I also covered Armored Core 6 leaks. And yeah, so in the Dying Light 2 episode, we got comments from Chevy. Maybe you can elaborate a bit here. And check out that episode. I talk about my thoughts on that. But kind of continuing, because Chevy wasn't in that episode, he adds, TLG Chevmo says, 20 hours to beat 80 if you want more, and 500 if you're obsessed. Honestly, as long as the quality is there, this seems like a good scale to me. Can you get your money's worth? Obviously subjective, but unless the game is bad, the only people who might suffer are achievement hunters, if that 500 is needed for that. What I realistically read here is the game is 20 to 80 hours long. I mean, I pretty much agree, and I go into detail on this, and I kind of talk about the overall conversation that I invite other people to join if you want on what do we expect from a game when it comes to time or whatever. But I got the same thing out of it. When you get the info, they're just telling you this game is a 20 to 80 hour game, and there's over 500 hours of content in it.
Yeah.
And people took that as like, it's going to take me 500 hours to beat this game. And it's like, no, they communicated that bad. For sure. But once you get the info, there's no story anymore. Yeah. Like that's pretty, I mean, 80 hours is pretty intense. Yeah, but 20-hour campaign, this happens.
That's standard.
Yeah. It's like whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by your comment. Because that's pretty much what I got out of as well. Is there anything you want to elaborate more on that, or does it pretty much speak for itself?
Put the emphasis also on the money part of it, right? Like, I understand, like, everyone plays games for different reasons, and so just expressing from my point of view, I don't beat every single game I play. In fact, that'd be fucking madness, I feel. Yeah. Sometimes I just want to make sure I got my money's worth out of it. The same as if, like, I go to a restaurant. I can go to McDonald's and get my money's worth out of that, as well as go down to a sit-down place that's maybe a little on the higher end side and get a different kind of my money's worth out of that. So, like, if you're buying a video game and it's a 20-hour campaign, you don't do the additional 480 hours, but you loved that 20 hours, one of the best experiences of your life, it's worth your money. Like, you got more out of that than taking 2 people to the movie theater for 2 hours. So,
or throwing on your grandma's Oculus and ordering McDonald's.
Yeah. Anyways,
via Uber Eats.
And obviously, like I said in the beginning, everyone's different. I just, like, for me, time, money, and entertainment are all kind of this very complex gray thing, and you can't just look at something and immediately respond emotionally to that.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So.
Oh, dude, I think it's going to be dope. I'm so excited. Thank you for the comment, Chevy. Mm-hmm. Thank you for adding your insights. And then we got Tom B, my dude, Tom B, saying, especially when the general open world formula has less tension than a more linear structure. The Last of Us 2 was horrible paced. I think it meant horribly paced, and felt extra long as fuck because of that awful mid-game restart. But a 20-hour story seems fine for an open world, in my opinion. And that's something I do touch on the episode, and I agree with you. it is the context of what kind of game you're playing matters too on playtime. Like an open world game, you do assume is going to be a longer experience because there's a lot of roaming involved, a lot of exploration, whereas like a linear game is going to be a lot more fine-tuned and directed. You're moving in confined areas that are designed to give you a specific experience, sometimes with a little bit of openness to kind of like give you that illusion.
Yeah.
But an open world game wants you to explore, wants you to go all over the place, and that will vary. But typically, you're going to spend a lot more time in those. And then also, when it comes to The Last of Us 2, I did respond to you, but I'll say it here as well. As much as I did like The Last of Us 2, and I'm not going to go into that conversation that much because everybody's got their opinions on that. There is a point in that game where the game did feel long. The beginning and the end, great, but like in the middle, I did feel kind of like I was enamored by the graphics, everything about them. Like, this game's fucking very well made. It's so impressive. But I was like, holy shit, I'm spending a lot of time here. Like the pacing did feel off for sure. So, and that's an example of like, did that campaign need to be fucking 25 hours long? Probably not. I don't regret it, but you could have tightened it up a bit. So, yeah, that's definitely something I took into consideration. I thought there was one other comment on it. There is. Okay.
YouTube being YouTube.
Yeah. I was like, I swear somebody else commented on this. But yeah, really, really good point. And I pretty much agree with you on it. Especially when you're talking about the open world formula, where you're bringing that up and then talking about a more linear structure being more tense or whatever. It definitely changes that up. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Grand Theft Auto 5, right? How long is the story in that game?
It's pretty fucking long.
Sure. And then, on top of that...
Honestly, I think Grand Theft Auto 5 and fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 are huge offenders of overly long and inflated campaigns.
And my point being now that people spend the 60, or in this case, we'll say 70, because that, the standard is somewhere in there at this moment, and play that long-ass story, and then most people don't stop playing there.
Yeah.
They keep fucking around for hundreds of hours usually. So
yeah. And Dying Light's essentially telling you that you're going to be able to do that in their game too.
Yeah. Assuming, obviously, they have the same kind of densely packed content that a Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead has. But still, again, that the context of all this stuff always matters. So like if they come out and it's an empty world and it's 500 hours of like, hey, go grab my fucking shoes over and over again. Yeah, no, that sucks.
Or like a really, really fucking good intro. Like, oh shit, dude, this is really good. And then 15 hours of a dude going, I had a plan.
Right.
I got a plan. I had a plan. Do you believe in my plan? And then a great ending. As long as Dying Light 2 is not that, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
For sure.
Great story. Fucking super filled with fucking Dutch's plans not being very good. Dutch, your plan ain't very good. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
All right, we got one other comment I wanted to kind of throw in here because we're getting the conversation going. It's from Writer's Block. He says, I mean, you know me being the doomsayer. I'd say if you put that much content into the game, there's a chance it'll be so stuffed with playtime bloater that the good shit gets lost among the filler quests and collectathon. But, maybe not this time. The game marketing kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk's, though not sure where to put that. Fair point. Kind of like what I just said with Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a fantastic game. It's fucking full of filler, though. Very well made filler, but it's full of it. And this is 100%. The longer a game does get, you do have a better chance. You can run into it in a shorter game too, but you have a very good chance of running into it in a bigger game. If you play an Ubisoft game, an open world Ubisoft game, there's a very good chance you're going to run into fucking filler bullshit and collectathons. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Some people want that though. But this isn't giving you the memories and the legacy of games where you go like, that game was fucking amazing. No one's talking about like, dude, there was so much shit to do in that game. The only time that was ever, I kind of talked about in the episode, but like people used to celebrate like length of games.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
in certain ways they still do. But like I was trying to think of an example when I was listening to that episode, just to make sure everything was good in it. And I was like, Elder Scrolls. people fucking love that you can just live in those worlds and just play them.
Still play those games.
Yeah.
Like,
Morrowind, fucking Oblivion, Skyrim, these games, no one talks about those feeling like they got filler, nothing. If you can give them credit for, I could give Elder Scrolls a lot of credit for a lot of things, but even like Skyrim, stuff like that, like these are games that you can just kind of fucking live in, similar to like an MMO, but they're not. But then you have other games.
they're very lonely MMO.
Very, very lonely. Skyrim felt very lonely. They all kind of feel, yeah, they're all very lonely. But yeah, there is such thing as too much content in a game. I learned this. I always kind of thought that might be a thing, but we finally got to the age where we got it confirmed with Ubisoft games. And they went like, we're going to put so much fucking content in this game that you'll never have to leave it. What kind of content? Well, we got an algorithm that kind of creates fucking mission types, and you get like this much gold here and that much gold there. Nothing really great. And the stories aren't that good. This guy's like, oh, go fight this war for me. Okay, I'll go do that. Thanks. And they give you some gold. And like, I could do this forever? Sick. And that's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
That's almost the same as if you had a big open world that was empty. Now you're keeping me busy with menial tasks. It's lame. So I do agree. The bigger, more content you put in there, you do run the risk of running into this kind of shit. And of course, any company is going to be more inclined to go down the route of going like, just fill with shit to keep them busy. We don't have to be super inspired about it. And not everything has to be handcrafted quests and shit. I mean,
Hard to disagree.
What?
I want to handcraft everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. But if you're a big company trying to fucking save a buck, I mean, like, you would be more inclined to do that. So I mean, he's got a good point. He is being a fucking doomsayer, but we need doomsayers as long as they're responsible.
Skepticism is good.
Sure. So. As long as it's constructive. Yes. I hate when people are like, "It's gonna suck." Why? Well, fuck them. That's why.
Don't just immediately assume everything's garbage. That's not being skeptical. That's just being.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And the correlation of this and Cyberpunk, I think, is really interesting because I don't get that, but I think it's interesting you do. I'd be maybe with the way they've been doing their like presentations, kind of like how Cyberpunk did their presentations, is kind of similar in that regard, but they're very different games, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also don't feel like I've seen like any advertising for this game versus I saw Cyberpunk everywhere.
Yeah, you did.
So
yeah, you did. You have anything to add to that?
No, we kind of were already talking. So
yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for your comments on this episode, and moving on to the last one, which is another episode I did on the same day. This is for Armored Core 6 leaks that came out via a survey from Software. So some pretty legit merit to this story, and this one was a lot of fun for me to talk about, so hopefully you had a chance to check it out. And we got a bunch of comments on it, which is cool. I'm gonna read them all. Fuck it. So from, is that Saint? Saint says, Spirit of Motherwill from Armored Core 4 Answer became a meme amongst my squad for the sheer wall it posed so early in that game. Yeah, I mean, I responded to this. I haven't responded to all these yet, but I will. Spirit of Motherwill is fucking an awesome fight. I kept saying in the episode 2, I'm like, I think it's like mission 2, mission 5, I don't remember. It's like 8, I think. I'm probably wrong about that as well. Mission 2 is the one with the cool fucking missiles and the sky and shit. But when you're coming from the prior ACs and then you come to this one, 4 Answer was so fucking good. I loved it. So shitty that they went to 5 after that. And you got to fight fucking Spirit of Motherwill for the first time. It was like crazy because like it has this whole like little like and I rewatched that fight recently again just to kind of get the nostalgia going. The music's like Dark Souls music. You're like fucking, they like put this rocket on your back because you got to get into its defenses and shooting missiles at you and shit. And you're just flying, and the whole time the music's just going, ho, 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 like fucking like Dark Souls. I'm like, it is just Dark Souls. Holy shit, it's not. It's not at all. And then you get close, and then you can freely like fly around this giant fucking multi-legged like mech, like mobile fortress thing, and it's like this awesome fucking fight. I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, this is sick. So it's interesting that it became a meme amongst you and other people. because it is so early in the game that it just shows up. It's like they really just like early on, like, look at this shit, fucking fight that. It's a very cool fight though. With a new Armored Core, I would hope they would just get crazier with it. So they could definitely do it nowadays. Anything to add to that?
I never played 4 Answers.
So fucking good. So good. They're all so good, but 4 Answer like was like the last of the last modern one. 5 was like a downgrade from it. 5's idea of like trying to make like an online co-op Armored Core, fucking on paper, like sign me up. That's amazing. Like they wanted to do all these missions and stuff together everywhere, but like the mechs had less customization. They weren't even designed like Armored Core mechs used to be designed. They're like normal mechs kind of.
That'd be like Vonzers, not look like Vonzers.
Yeah, and like the gameplay was different. It was like it's just like was a different game, but called Armored Core. It's weird.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's my least favorite Armored Core. But yeah, thank you for the comment. Jeremy says, I really, really hope all of this is true. Loved Armored Core game, all of them, especially the one on PS2. And I also remember having fun playing those on PS1. Man, I feel old. And I agree. I replied to you this, but I'm just going to say it just because it's a fond memory of mine. I forget how much Armored Core is like one of my favorite series of all time. Because like anytime I think of it, I have such fond memories of it. I remember when we were like kids and we played even the demo of Armored Core on that PlayStation demo disc back in the day, and it just like blew my mind. I was like, holy fuck. And after that I was just like sold. So, and then I think about that, I'm like, wait, I'm talking about PlayStation demo discs. I played that before I played the actual game. Like, holy fuck, I'm old too, dude. I feel it. But yeah, no one talks about Armored Core anymore because why would they? They don't make them anymore. But like, decades. But then it gets brought up and everybody's like, dude, I fucking loved Armored Core. I'm like, I know, it's so good. And then I look at these Gen Z kids talking about like, they're making like a new Armored Core. It looks like Dark Souls. Like it's got like Dark Souls bosses, and he's using this move that looks like a move from Dark Souls. And you know, it seems like it's gonna be like a Dark Souls game. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they just saw FromSoft and rolled with it.
Yeah, so. Yeah, they never played them. And I was like, God, what a fucking, that sucks. Anything to add to that? You old?
I wouldn't use that term.
Yeah, me neither.
But I do feel old sometimes, for sure.
True. I felt old. It was like a month ago. I had mentioned Where's Waldo, and someone younger than me looked at me, and they didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, those kind of moments are always kind of awkward.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, people don't know what Where's Waldo is.
And I've told you this before, but like I used to work in gaming retail, I'll just say. Mm-hmm. And someone came up and asked me what Metal Slug was, and I told them it was like Contra. And they were like, well, what's Contra? And I went, okay.
I get that though, because you'll talk to these fucking like anyone older than me that talks about games always wants to tell me they played games before I was like born, and they're like an old school gamer and stuff. I'm like, that's cool. But they'll like talk about like all these old Atari games and shit. I'm like, I don't fucking know what those are.
I know
there's not a lot.
I don't have experience with them.
There's not a lot of games. I've been around for the major portion of gaming, luckily. So like I can talk about Nintendo and on pretty much. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while someone will talk about like this obscure Atari game. And I'm just like, I don't know about that. I don't really want to know about it too much. So I kind of get it. But that was also like such an early time in gaming that I appreciate. But like when you start talking about like PS2 games, now what the fuck they are, like that's just, it's the same thing. But in my head, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You can still go, but those are still like 3D games that have like a lot of the same principles games now have.
Yeah.
You can totally play those still.
I mean, I sometimes do.
You can play Metal Gear Solid, I'm telling you. It's still a great game. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Getting old.
Yeah, getting old. My memory's going. Thank you for the comment. And then we got XX Delirium XX saying, you and me both. I'm a longtime AC fan and been dying for a new one. I've played every game except Ninebreaker. That one sucked. And I love it, just that one sucked. From what I hear, it's going to be a reboot, may not even be called Armored Core. Either way, I'm excited to see a new mech game. No other mech game has ever compared to AC. Fucking preach. I agree with you on everything except for Ninebreaker. I don't even know if I feel like I played that one, but I don't remember sucking, so maybe I just don't remember it that well. It's the age thing. My memory's going. But if they do a soft reboot, I could see that happening for sure. I wouldn't even be surprised if this game came out and was just called Armored Core. That would make complete sense to me. If they
just rebooting for sure.
Yeah, it's been so long. You just make an Armored Core. Now you're reintroducing it to people who played them in the past, and they're not going to be like, "What the fuck?" They'll be like, "It's Armored Core, cool." You're bringing it back, and then with new players, they'll be like, "Oh, Armored Core." They don't have to go like, they don't have to go like, "Wait, do I have to play the last ones to play this?" Like, it's not going to be any confusion. So that would make sense. Calling it something else would bother me kind of, because it would kind of feel like, and I'm not talking shit about Sekiro, but originally Sekiro, they wanted to make a Tenchu game, and then they made Sekiro, and it's a great game that if you can play it, it's not too difficult for you. It's a blast. But we didn't get the Tenchu game. And so if we get something that's kind of like Armored Core, that maybe originally was supposed to be, but now we get like a Dark Souls Armored Core, I'll regret that we never got that Armored Core. So I hope they just make an Armored Core, not like, name it something else or do some kind of weird reboot thing. But yeah, I mean, I believe that could happen, just like I believe this could just be a Souls-like game. But the way they describe it sounds like Armored Core. They're talking about you freely moving around in multiple directions and shit, and almost sound like an open world the way they describe it.
I mean, honestly, I just hope what they do is they take everything that people romanticize about Armored Core, the lessons they learn from Souls games, and try to find a good way to marry those two things together.
If they do that, I literally do not want it to be a Souls game at all.
I didn't say that, but by making so many games at this point in that genre, there are lessons in game design they have learned over those years,
especially in boss battles and challenge. I mean, they can definitely make some crazy fucking. I hope they would learn lessons too in making AI for different pilots too, because that's one thing that's kind of cool about the old ACs is like when you went through like the arenas and stuff, different pilots had like different ways they played. And I feel like you can do some really cool stuff with AI nowadays when it comes to that kind of thing.
You need to go ham on customization, man. I want like crazy looking mechs. So.
It was always so fucking cool in the back of the day that if they just expand on that, I want to see all the parts from back then in modern day. There's some like chest pieces, cores, and legs and stuff that I would love to see again, and swords and stuff like that. But then brand new shit, that'd be amazing. But I so badly don't want it to be a Dark Souls game, and I'll still buy it and play it if it is. But if it's just like an old school AC game, I will be so fucking happy.
For sure.
But yeah, preach, dude. I'm with you. I agree with everything you said. TLG Chevmo, this guy said, "Just let me live my mecha dreams." From Soft, I agree, 100%. I agree. Just let me live from Software. It's up to you. You know, let me live. Sega Scream says, "Got a feeling they're just gonna make a Soulsborne game using the Armored Core name."
Don't do that, please.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I'll still fucking buy it. They'd still make money off me. But I don't want them to do that. But I'll still play it, and I'd probably still like it. But goddamn, I would feel so disappointed that I'm just not going to get an Armored Core again. That would suck.
For sure.
Whew. It's depressing. But still probably be a good game because From Software is just making great games. So, and then the last comment of the night, of all the comments I've been reading all night, is how do I say this? XX Sinful Griff XX says, "At this point, I couldn't care less if I need to buy a PS5 to play it. I need, all caps, a new Armored Core in my life. Though I will be incredibly disappointed if this is just a Souls reskin." Seems like everybody's kind of on the same page as me on this, which is great to hear. Continuing, "I don't need the blistering fast twitch shooter gameplay of Armored Core 4 answer, but it's not going to be an Armored Core if you can't go charging in and slice an MT in half with a moonlight, dodging missiles while blowing holes in your opponents with the Karasawa grenade launcher strapped to one shoulder, almost said soldier, and a missile rack on the other." I mean, I agree 100%. It doesn't have to be super hyperactive. All the Armored Cores, well, most of them kind of have the same pace. 4 Answer definitely was a newer game that could allow for more hyper combat, but there is a feel to Armored Core. And yeah, I would love to be able to experience that again. I don't want it to be a Souls reskin as well, and I do want to just be ripping through people with the fucking swords and shooting the missile launchers.
Oh, sorry, let me be a missile boat. Just lock onto everything and explode.
I used to always love having like a fast fire rate SMG, big surprise, SMG or machine gun and a sword. And I just unload at people while I was dodging around, closing ground, and then I'd fucking hit them. Boom, boom, like twice. I used to piss people off all the time with that because they'd be sitting there fucking moving slow, or they'd be moving fast, but like they didn't have the same setup as me, and fucking I'd always just get in close and fucking smack them and just kill them. Sometimes I have like a missile thing, but I always like to be really light. But then if I got hit, I would just get fucking killed quickly.
Right.
But that was the fucking beauty of Armored Core, dude. Was like somebody could be like just a big ass fucking missile boat with like 40,000 fucking health or whatever, just shooting missiles and having chain guns and shit. And somebody could be like something with like 12,000 health and like just bouncing around and shit, like just trying to hit somebody with a weapon that takes 2 hits to kill them. Like,
well, and it's funny too because really the only games I could think of off the top of my head where like I enjoyed like just the mech experience of it is Armored Core and the old Mech Warrior games.
yeah, and they're very different.
Yeah.
But they both had that experience of customizing your mech.
Yeah.
And the strategy of it, even though one's fast paced, it was still sim like. It was just anime mech sim like.
Yeah, the different mechs.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like the mobility of mechs in Armored Core is completely different than in Mech Warrior, where they're more like tanks.
Yeah.
But they're both games where you had to strategize your build and your play style. Even Chrome Hounds, which I think From Software made as well, was kind of like that. Those mechs were very weird, though, the way they're shaped. It was like you're fucking using Legos to make these weird things, but that was a cool game, too. God, where the fuck are the mech games at, dude? Just give me some.
I don't know, it's wild, too, because like even after playing, this might be a strange example, but like Titanfall 2, the mech stuff in that game was
so
dope,
fucking
and that was
cool, dude.
pretty simple.
Titanfall's such a fucking genius formula that just
imagine if they
tripped on itself.
Like instead of doing like a battle royale like they did with like the shooting part, they did a different genre and it was more on the mecha side of things. Like, I'm sure it would have been a blast. So
yeah, if they make a Titanfall 3, they need to do everything that Titanfall 2 did. It needs to have a campaign, and the campaign in 2 is great, but like a better campaign. Co-op would fucking sweeten the pot. But then also like the multiplayer needs to have enhance that fucking pilot and Titan fucking gameplay, but also like really invest in like Titan modes and maybe pilot modes, like make a fucking huge suite of just fucking multiplayer that people can play.
yeah.
Because Titanfall is like such a fucking cool idea. It's so crazy that they thought that up, they nailed it, and it didn't fucking catch on. Like in the zeitgeist it did, everybody fucking loves it, but financially it just was like a slow trickle.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough lamenting the loss of mech games.
Here's what I got from this. Give us good mech game.
Yeah. I think that's what everybody wants. Just give us a good mech game. Not those weird Mobile Suit Gundam games. There's a couple good ones, but like a lot of those games were not that great. But I knew a bunch of people would always buy them because they liked Gundam, which made sense. But
I mean, yeah, you're still getting your mech like fix from that, but like, yeah,
you're getting your Gundam fix from those games.
My mech.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have that experience, play the game in my style, and then watch you play and go, oh, it's wild. I didn't think about doing it that way. Like, I want that experience.
Yeah, I want that Gran Turismo experience in a mech game. I want to sit there
Pretty much, yeah.
and just build my mech up and fine tune it and then take it out and see how it does.
Maybe not so much that I don't want to be putting suspension in the kneecaps or anything, but
I do. I want to sit there and listen to music that's just like dun dun dun, just someone on the piano, dun dun dun, just fucking real chill
you get out
elevator
there and
music.
Eurobeat starts.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be sick. Yeah, I agree though. I mean, it seems like everybody's on the same page. We all want a new AC like the old ACs, but more modern and new features, and not just the reskin of Dark Souls, which I'm glad people understood that, because anytime I say something like that, I'm like, are the Dark Souls fans, and I'm one of you, Are the Dark Souls fans going to come for me like, fuck you, what'd you say about Dark Souls? And I'm like, dude, they made AC before this and they were great. They can be two different things. It doesn't have to be Dark Souls. You want Bloodborne 2, just ask for that. Don't worry about AC. Let it be AC.
Yeah, hopefully that's next.
That's what I was saying in that episode, dude. Like, fucking, like, the next level play would be Elden Ring, which is going to be amazing, and then release AC. Just take a breather. Bring that back. Make people happy. Try something that you haven't been doing, and then make Bloodborne 2. You're gonna blow the world up. Everybody's gonna be so happy with everything that you're doing.
Yeah,
that'd be such a major play.
It's also partially in Sony's court to help with that, though, since it's their IP.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the hang up. Yeah, with Bloodborne is that weird exclusivity connection that they have.
Yeah.
So
look how long it took for Demon's Souls. So.
Yeah, true. All right, well, that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody, for your comments on those videos. And again, if you want your comment for sure read, I'm just been reading them lately anyway. But if you want it read for sure, hashtag AskTLG. Otherwise, I pick a random. So if you didn't get read, you could have been. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Tastecast. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Make sure to check out our socials, links down below, and streams. Streams are also linked down there too. I would like to start doing that again soon, so check me out on Twitch. Follow me there, or you're here, hit subscribe. And then we have a Discord if you'd like to talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. You can listen to us pretty much anywhere. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support this channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. And yeah, thanks for having this long and all over the place conversation with me, Chevy. And I've been Seth. Until the next episode, which will be soon this weekend. Have a good one, guys, and take it easy.